What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the AVGL Collegiate Championship. I am Septilence, joined here by Jag, to bring you another day of 4 rounds of Fortnite.
Yep, Champions League, week 3. This is the last week of qualifiers. These teams have been already competing for the last 2 weeks, trying to break into that top 40 for a shot at that $4,000 prize, but the championship is going to be decided next week. But there's still plenty of time to climb the ladder and make it there, Septilence. It's going to be a great day of Fortnite, as you said, and already some teams to be looking out for that we know have done well in the past. Johns Hopkins University, University of Maryland, College Park, with 2 actually duos that are doing very well, and University of Wisconsin. They have been names that to be looking out for. They have been doing very well, usually the top of the bracket, but I mean, it's a whole new day, it's a whole new week.
Absolutely, and as I always say, when you do well in Fortnite, it's almost something to be worried about, because that's going to put a giant red target on your back, and people are going to be looking out for you as early as possible. They don't want those who already have those points to live very far into those further out games, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on as well. Are we going to see these early names? Are we going to see these strong teams taken out early on, or are they going to show that they deserve those leads they've already found?
It depends on the style of play that you want to go for. I mean, we have the scoring system. We know that there is a lot of points to be found if you finish in the top. You find out this is what 6, this is what will get us the most points. You go for that. So there's a lot of strategic ideas outside of the game before we even jump into the lobby. And I think that'll be really interesting to see if we see those rotations come through, especially teams that maybe don't do as well at the beginning.
Absolutely, and I think it would be fun if these teams like coordinated their skins or something. That literally adds nothing to the game. I just think that'd be a lot of fun for us at home watching. I think that'd be entertaining, and it, of course, helps build character and helps build personality for these people that are playing. A lot of these folks are looking to really bring this down to the wire. You mentioned already a couple of teams starting off strong and great, and we're down to that final week, our final qualifier week, excuse me. So now these teams definitely, it's a now or never moment for a lot of these folks here today.
It is now or never, and I think going back to that discussion, personally, I would love to see some of the OG skins come out. I've been playing Fortnite since release, since all the way in Season 1. Like, what was that, 2, 3, 4 years ago? It feels like forever now, but I would love to see, like, the Black Knight come online, or, like, the Knights of the Round Table, those skins. Those are some of my favorite back in the day. I know those are really old school, but those are for the players out there who have been playing just as long as I have, but there are a lot of great skin collections, and, I think there's actually a very strategic thing that goes into it. I mean, Fortnite, they have added more and more cosmetic items to the game as time has gone on, and they've made them cooler and cooler. We also got to think about what blends in best. I think that's just a very strategic element. That's why a lot of games are basically say, there are no skins. You have to use the default ones, or there just isn't an extra. Structures get destroyed, and then you get resources from them. So you'll see trees get ruined, houses get ruined. There's 3 types of materials: wood, brick, and steel. Steel being the most powerful, but takes the longest to build. So, there's that kind of debate, like, do I try to go for a more sturdy structure or something that will just save me in the moment? Sure we'll see a lot of those battles go down, especially as resources get lower and lower. And that's just going to be the biggest thing. I think near the end, it's going to be very slow at the beginning, as you said, but near the end, we're going to see these big towers be built as the circle gets smaller and smaller, and then you'll see teams basically running around. They'll be trying to get in and out of the circle, because if you're on the outside of the storm, or the circle as we'll be referring to it, you take damage, and the longer the game goes on, the more damage you'll be taking from the storm. So by the end, like, it's almost instant death, and sometimes we just see heal wins, basically where you'll just try to heal yourself up and out survive the last person who's alive on the other side. I feel like we see a lot of those lately, especially in the higher tiers, because at that point, gun battles don't really happen near the end. So you might see that it's not the most exciting ending, but it's very smart. It's very strategical, and I feel like I've mentioned that a few times, because this game, there's a lot of thought you got to put into it if you want to do well.
Absolutely, and part of that thing, part of getting the healing is fishing, which we talked about earlier. We saw a lot of fishing. People were getting those fish that give them extra health, and it helped them stay alive a little more consistently. When you get down to that final circle of the storm, it does up to 10 damage a second, so in 10 seconds, you're dead. You've only got 100 health, so that's definitely something to keep an eye out on as well. When it comes down to it at the end of the day, some of these people may overbuild as well, which can be a nail in the coffin for them just as much as not building at all. Some folks build to the sky limit, and then they just have the build knocked out from underneath them, and it was all for nothing. But at the same time, some folks may not build at all and get taken out for that. Another reason we may see a lot of builds coming through, or a lot of farming for materials coming through, is a strategy often referred to as turtling, which is kind of surrounding yourself in a box, putting a pyramid on top, and then somebody will be shooting at it, and you just spam build new wooden walls. And that's just a way to keep yourself alive a little bit longer. It's usually just delaying the inevitable. Very rarely do we see somebody turtle and then survive it. It's usually just trying not to die very quickly. And now, as we wait to go into this, I think we're just getting some players in lobby now. I mean, I could not be more excited to see it, because all these predictions we've made, but that's the thing about Fortnite, is this could all be totally wrong. These players could come in, they have the freedom to do whatever they want at the very beginning, and they can land wherever they want. It could be a total bloodbath in the first 30 seconds, or we could just watch some folks fish for half an hour. You know, that's the beauty of Fortnite is there's a time limit, but it's a pretty large one, so there's a lot of freedom to do what you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, back when Tilted Towers was in the game, everyone just dropped there, and it was immediate. Like, you see, like, 20, 30 people get wiped from the game because there'd be these very close quarter battles over materials and guns early on. There is a tier list for guns, with gray being the worst, orange being the best, so you might see people with similar weapons, but if it's an orange versus a purple, the orange gun might be able to win out because there's a little bit more damage, maybe a better fire rate, maybe a little bit less spread. So all those things can matter, and that's kind of the difference maker between, like, do we just turtle up, or do we hide early on and just go for a light drop where no one else is going to be and maybe not get as many good guns, but then we'll survive longer, or do we go for one of those hot drops and get better guns and then have better things to sustain us throughout the game? And one thing you mentioned was about overbuilding, and I think that's very important to consider, because if your base is destroyed, is whatever is at the bottom of your structure, whatever's holding it up, if that's broken, the whole thing collapses. So it doesn't matter how high it is, it doesn't matter how many floors you have. If you're, there's only 4 walls at the very, very bottom and they're all broken, it's almost guaranteed sayonara. I mean, obviously there are some, utility things that maybe could help you survive the drop, but there is fall damage in this game, and it is unforgiving.
There's fall damage, and it is, like you said, unforgiving, hyper aggressive, and sometimes a great way to take somebody out. Sometimes you get lucky, they build up too high, you get a little bit cheeky, and you're able to take them out. And there's, a lot of weapons that Jack talked about already. There's that tier list of legendary to common and vice versa, but then there's also something to consider that sometimes there's not really a meta when it comes to weapons. It's just going to be some weapons that you pick up and you just use what's given to you. We'll see shotguns a lot, as we often do, but assault rifles probably going to be coming out as well. And now it looks like our players are finally going to be able to get in lobby. We're going to be having 14 teams here in this matchup. We've got 4 games here tonight, and now only time will tell who's going to come out victorious.
Yeah, absolutely. We finally got them all ready to go. The battle bus is going to be launching in about, I believe, 10 seconds. So this is going to be a great first game. This could set the pace, but again, still a lot of points to be given out tonight. So if you don't do great in the first one, have no fear. There is opportunity for success later on, and there is that beautiful battle bus going over our map for this evening, a map that has been changed a lot since Season 1, but one thing that hasn't changed is the amazing deals that you can find on Esport Certified. Be sure to check them out. It's a gaming gear destination exclusively for college and university students. Discover today's premier esports gear from Razer, SteelSeries, HyperX, and more, all at great savings. Visit today at esportcertified.com.
Absolutely, and like you said, this map has been changed quite a lot, but it will always be the map that many Fortnite players love to call home. We're going to see some dives coming in pretty aggressively, some folks going to be scattered all across the map looking for any kind of value that they can get, and like we already said, 28 people, that's not going to be a lot for such a large map, so 14 teams, we've got plenty of room to be spread out. They can get some great materials early on, or who knows, maybe they're going to choose to start aggressive and go for some early kills. It'd be some free points on board.
And I believe that actually 2 of those players are our observers that are in game, so I think it might be actually more like 13 teams of 26, so that's even lower the odds, so there's a lot of great points to be found just early on if you can survive that. But we're going to see this first drop now, and it looks like Harsh is going to be the one we're going to be on for a little bit. I believe that's one of the players actually that's at near the top of the leaderboard, one of the better teams, I believe, from John Hopkins. So we're going to be starting off with one of the names that we know already. They're going to be going for that one of the heavier shields, I mean, they're actually a 2. I was gonna say, like, you might want to wait on that if you can find some mini shields, because you cannot stack mini shields beyond 50, but there they found 2 off the get-go, so already gonna be at that full health bar early on. It's a pretty good way to start with green weapons as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You got that green AR and that green submachine gun, so now they're going to have a good weapon coming through here. Harsh is going to be probably playing patient. I can't stress that enough. He's going to go for as many chests as he can early on, try to find some value picks of another green AR, and often you see people carrying 2 types of the same weapon just to get that value, get the extra ammo as well, so they can kind of unload those clips if they get into a build battle. But right now, we're going to be watching Harsh trying to find some more value, already finding another full shield pot, so that's a great look.
It is indeed, and I'm wondering if they're going to give it to their partner, or maybe if their partner already has full health. They do. Now they get minis as well, so that's a lot of utility. Looks like we're going to be looking at Cadnator now, 3K, who might be in a bit of a battle right now. They do have Chug Splash, which I think is really good, because that's instantaneous healing as well as instantaneous shields. And yep, there's going to be the first gun battle breaking out.
Yep, the first gun battle going to be out here. Cadnator tries to find another way out with the vehicle, but it looks like they're going to have to give up early on, start farming defense just a little bit, and start to really put that pressure on, trying to find a little bit of value. That was the out, like we said, if you try to take a battle without any materials to build with, that's pretty much a death sentence all in itself. So now Catinator getting that high ground, getting that advantage, which at the end of the day can make or break your fight opportunity to the pressure coming out. But Catinator seemingly playing just a little bit too defensive, not really taking any shots quite yet, able to find a little bit of value onto somebody there.
You just gotta go for the chug splash. I mean, you might wait, and it's gonna be too late, and already you've lost your entirety of the shield, so they're gonna try to go for the longer consumption where you see all the for the shield, and it's gonna cost them their life. Oh no.
Yeah, there goes Catinator. Definitely not a good look there. We see Lucy No able to find some Lucy X No. I don't know how to say that, but it looks like they're going to be finding a very early kill. That's going to be 2 eliminations, excuse me. So that's going to be 4 points on board.
I believe that whole team is just white there, and they get a blue AR from it. So that blue assault rifle, it's going to be one of the better ones in the game, one of the more common ones, but still a pretty good one. I mean, I'm sure later on we'll see some more purple and orange tier guns, but blue to start out with is pretty nice, and they get the chug splash to sit out. They have that instantaneous healing if need be.
Yeah, the chug splash, like you said, one of the strongest healers in the game. It does that healing in the blink of an eye. Fastest healing without a doubt. And this is going to be harsh. Again, looks like they're in a build battle of their own. They know somebody's down there underneath. Not able to find them quite yet, but going to try to hold on to this high ground, because high ground can absolutely make or break the fight.
And as we see the split screen of where people are on the map, you see there are some people all the way on the top left. But right now this battle is going to rage on, and they've kind of set themselves in a hard place. You see they are going to be building. They're going to be able to actually drop into, it looks like a house for the time being. That's huge. Able to stay alive long enough. Now they're going to try to build their way out, and I think this is something we talked about. We expect shotguns from the very beginning, and that tactical shotgun is in this player's inventory, in Ideal's inventory. So if they are able to force this short-range matchup, Complex has one as well, and it looks like they know there's someone right above them, so they might be just waiting for someone to drop right into their hands.
Yeah, they're Complex trying to find anything. Ideal going to help put the pressure on. Of course, this is a duo that we're watching, but of course, we're going to see Ideal take a lot of damage super early on. They lose all their shields. They're going to have to get another chug splash here if they want to heal back up. They might be trying to go through the floor, and again, they're just kind of stuck in a running pattern here. They're not able to really put their feet on the floor. They just have to keep running because they can't find the footing they need to start this gunfight.
Good thing is they built so much that they can keep trying to edit it, so they can try to find angles and then, you know, rebuild it completely, so that way they can't be shot back at. But I mean, you see right now, Control is not putting the foot off the gas at all. They are right there trying to find it, and now Harsh is going to come in and try to help.
And Harsh has that gas can. That's going to create a huge space there if they're able to blow it up. Control and Harsh able to catch out Ideal and their partner here, which is going to be Mick Complex. This is one of our top teams. It's going to be Control and Harsh. So now we can maybe see them in action better than anybody at the moment, able to find a lot of great value and try to find some eliminations. Control playing it slow, farming a couple materials, and finding a couple shield pots in the process. So it's going to be more health on board for that team as well.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to use it right now because they only are missing 9 shield currently, but they win this fight. It's a great way to stay alive if there is a third party, and a third party, if you don't know the term, is basically when someone waits for a fight to be over and then runs up when you were at your weakest, so they will have a way to sustain through a possible gank. But for now, it looks like Ideal is going to be able to stay alive. It looks like they have found a way out of this engagement, and for the meantime, the team that we know pretty well, one of those top teams, they're not going to be able to find kills just yet.
Yeah, they get a little bit bloodthirsty. They try to chase down those eliminations, but they are not going to be finding them. And like you said, we now see Zigzag Zoe somewhere else on the map. Ideal going to be trying to farm as many materials as possible. That's really the best that they can offer for the time being. As far as they're concerned, somebody is chasing them down to the wire. It does look like Harsh and their teammate have to give it up for the time being, but it's a great opportunity for Ideal. Now coming up on about 300 materials in the bricks department, which is going to be about 30 platforms.
Yeah, it's a great job that they're able to get everything in this garage right now, and I'm wondering, like, what's their way out of here though? I mean, there are cars they could try to, you know, blow that pop stand, but it looks like instead they're just going to try to build their way out, and we might see them engage right into another fight. There is still that team that we talked about right around the corner, and there it is. There is the gunfire.
Yeah, the gunfire going to be coming through here. Ideal just desperately building again, not able to take the lead or the advantage in this fight. Just now trying to get the high ground with the pressure coming out. It's going to be nothing short of aggressive from both sides. It looks like it's going to be Harsh and Control all over again. It's going to be a 2v1 for the time being. I'm not sure. Oh, no, never mind. Ideal's partner is up there with them on top.
They're together. They're building up. But again, this is, you know, if something happens and they get booped off, this is going to be a lot of fall damage. They got to be really careful about not playing too close to the edge. They do have the high ground, which is where you want to be. As you see Control and Harsh, they're not going to have a good angle to shoot at. And as they now try to rotate, looks like they might be trying to take a different approach to this. I'm wondering where they're trying to go. I mean, You don't want to drop because then you'll be running right into them. I mean, you do have shotguns, so maybe you want to play the long range, but I feel like this situation is completely flipped on its head before. Harsh and Control, they were the ones who had that said thing, Control, where they were able to kind of corner Ideal and make complex early on, but they were able to build out of it. They were able to get on top of them somehow, and now, turntables. It's happened.
Absolutely. And not to sound like a Star Wars movie, but of course, having the high ground is a great advantage. And it really can be over for a team if there's a high ground in advantage. Control and Harsh, they put the pressure on, and Mid Complex and Ideal are able to get to the high ground, like you said, but they also commit, I think, all of their materials to do it. So now building down isn't really an option. Mid Complex going to be rotating down, running down that ramp, maybe trying to find an off angle onto Harsh and Control. But you're not a top team on accident, so Harsh and Control are not going to fall for something without really putting up a fight for their lives. And as we talk, I'm just seeing on one of our extra screens that you guys aren't able to see on the live feed, somebody was just knocked by Archer there. So somebody already knocked. Now the team may be taken out relatively soon. We're going to see Mandinka there going to be putting a little bit of pressure on. Archer is already going to be back up, I believe, for the time being. A lot of damage onto Archer there. Already going to be at 8 shields. The pressure coming out from all of these teams. We see that great build battle happening there, and then we jump all the way over to 2 different teams, and it's a build battle just as big, if not bigger. Archer going to be committing those shields early on. Has a couple of chug splashes, which we cannot stress enough. Fastest healing of the game. Going to be your absolute favorite. Going to be jumping back to Harsh and Complex, just farming up some shields of their own. Harsh almost taken out in that gunfight.
Yeah, and now we're going to see both angles of it, so we're going to see how both teams prevent. Harsh is solo, as you said, had to commit both of their full shields, and this is a bit of a pickle for them. I mean, Absolutely. Right now, Mid Complex, we talked about this earlier. I mean, Ideal was the one with the lowest health coming into this. They only had 150. Now Harsh is only at about 120, I believe, so this is a big disadvantage for our team from John Hopkins. And one thing I want to note earlier is as we look to another fight now, actually, I believe Archer, they did win that engagement, but now we're going to be looking at a completely different one.
That's going to be Orange Boy here, putting a lot of damage onto I Woke Up Dead, and it looks like they may be dead relatively soon here. Already taken down to the wire. And as we
Ideal's
watch
down.
Harsh and Ideal, I mean, that's going to be it. It's going to be blink and you miss it. Harsh going to be taken out here. That's going to be, excuse me, not taken out, but critical condition to say the least. We see Mid Complex going to be able to 1v2 here. Ideal taken offline. He goes for the reboot card, but looks like he might not be able to make it out. The pressure down. Control and Harsh going to be able to pick up Mid Complex and Ideal after a very elongated battle, but they do emerge victorious.
Yeah, Ideal, we didn't get to see exactly how that developed because we were looking at fights elsewhere, but I was saying, like, they had some of the weakest health going into that. They didn't, They were actually one of the, I think they were the 3rd healthiest there, but they fell in, they tried to go for an aggressive play, and they ended up getting down, and then it's so hard to win 1v2. Harsh was so low. Harsh is still very, very low. I believe there might be a med kit there. There's a med kit right there, so he should be able to get healed up in the blink of an eye, but that would have been a great way to take out one of the top teams, and they're going to live to fight another day. Great job there by Harsh and Complex, but it looks like we're going to see another fight break out now.
Yeah, Beastly Chill Guy gonna be in a gunfight. I haven't been able to catch any other names yet for Beastly Chill Guy. We may lose them before we even get to know them. Already dropping in critical condition. 2 health there for a moment. He's gonna be knocked down by Lucy No, who we saw just moments earlier. They're gone as well. There goes that duo, Beastly Chill Guy and Lucy No, gonna be taken out. Blink and you miss it. That team already gone. And something to talk about is that fight we saw with Control earlier on, is that the importance of it. Harsh and Control. I talked about they're a top dog. That puts a giant target on their back, and that may be why Mid Complex and Ideal were so aggressive to try and get those kills. They wanted to get that top dog out of the way, but unfortunately they were going to lose that gunfight. And now Murder Man on 60 is how I'm going to choose to say that. I may be wrong, but I'm wrong every day. Going to be in a gunfight there. Now it's going to be it looks like we may see a third party stuck in Storm just secretly healing up.
It's Mandinka right now. They're going to have to run for their lives. The Storm is closing in. It's going to be very far, but it looks like someone is waiting for them on the other side. See if they can win this matchup. They're going to try to just break the structure with their pickaxe. That is a strategy. Means you don't waste any ammo, means you can immediately swap back. They're going to try to break it and go for the one tap. They're going to find a shot, but it's not going to knock them down. Destroys all of their shield, but still, Mandinka has not been able to find the final blow. And they're going to be able to run away for at least the time being.
They are so low. They are like 1 bullet from death here. And Mandinka can't get too aggressive because if you just storm forward, you can lose your own life in the process. Now the high ground going to be lost, and this player going to start to struggle a little bit. The high ground is so unbelievably important, but no, they drop, and Mandinka just takes their head clean off with that shotgun. Like we talked about, folks, this game, right now, the way that Fortnite is built, it is all about those shotguns.
We're going to see another battle breakout. This time inside the storm. It looks like it's where we've seen a few already, because look at all the buildings already all around.
Yeah, no, we're definitely seeing a lot of buildings happening almost simultaneously near Haven here, and it's going to be some great aggression coming out. Cypherus is going to be farming as always, and like we said, folks, early game, all about farming. 100% of the time is going to be about farming. Looks like we have about 16 players left online, which is going to be roughly 9 teams, which makes me think there's at least 2 solos running around right now, if I can do my math correctly.
So we already know there's one solo. We just saw Mandika stay alive, so we know there's probably one more somewhere out there, unless maybe they're able to get a resurrection. Not sure if they were able to get their teammates' card to go for that play. It's a very risky play.
No doubt.
I feel like they might have taken it from another battle royale, you know, the idea of bringing a partner back to life, but I mean, it just makes so much noise, the van that brings them back, so immediately it's just kind of like a come here and kill me, like, calling sign.
Yeah, it's like blowing into a tuba. It's unbelievably loud. It just lets everybody know where you are.
And we'll see. Right now, we see how this battle is developing. We see the split screen. Harsh and Control. Harsh is taking a lot of damage, though. Harsh is going to lose their shield, it looks like, so...
Yeah, Zigzag Zoe. It's going to be 2 Twitch streamers up against one of our top teams, Harsh and Control. And honestly, as long as Control can live up to that name and find control of the fight, it could be huge for them. But Zigzag Zoe already going to be looking to build to the high ground.
Yeah, Harsh did get at least 50 more shield back, so... You know, it looks like they were having no shield for a little bit. They were able to heal up. It looks like Zigzag Zoe and their partner not able to push aggressively enough onto them. And Control and Harsh, they had the high ground once again. We saw that they gave it up, and it looked like it was not a great situation for them earlier, but they were able to still win that one out. But this is a different fight going on.
That's a duo kill.
Side, and
that's 2.
That is just, yeah, instantly wiped. And Orange Boy, we've seen them get some damage earlier on. They do find a kill, but it looks like they are still being sought out by other teams.
Yeah, being set up by other teams, and the teammate already gone. I Woke Up Dead is dead, I believe. So they are currently not online. I'm not sure he's the reboot card either. So Orange Boy may be on his own. So netting those 2 kills is huge. And it looks like he's going to be in a gunfight with Mandinka, who is our other solo player. So now these two have no idea that they're fighting actually a 1v1 rather than a 2v1 or a 2v2. Orange Boy trying to get a high ground advantage. And no, excuse me, Archer is back. So Mandinka must have gotten that reboot card.
Yeah, and we always talk about, you know, risk versus reward there. Complete reward. Archer is back in the fight. We saw them die pretty early on after, I think, getting a kill. So we've seen a bit of Archer and Mandika already. They will live to fight another day together as a wholesome duo. Orange Boy, they're going to have to run for their life. They do have full shield and full health, so I feel like they're going to be all right for a little bit. But on the other side of the screen, as you see, Control and Harsh, I mean, they're still being chased by Zigzag Zoe. So that battle has not necessarily ended. This top team is still being chased all the way around the map, and we're seeing Zigzag Zoe. They take a little damage, so they're going to have to use some of their mini shields, but it's not going to be too bad. Going to have 150 health. It looks like they might have taken a little bit more damage, maybe 6 damage total, so more like 100 and, I'm going to do the math, 144, but it's not a bad place to be right now.
Yeah, definitely not. And also something Harsh and Control have done that is pretty smart is they moved in toward the circle and then turned around and took the fight up against Zigzag Zoe and their teammate Cypherus. So now, you know, they have to be pushing into Harsh and Control because they need to stay out of the storm. Orange Boy gonna seemingly go for the hide strat up against Archer and Mandinka. He just wants that fight to end, even if just for a moment. It looks like Archer may have turned his sights onto something else as well, so this may be working out for Orange Boy here. Because right now, when you're a solo in this matchup, it's all about survival.
Yep, they see Harsh and Control on the other side of that mound, and they're going to find the snipe. It looks like it did connect, did not take them down, but quite a bit of damage there. Orange Boy right now just saying, like, please everyone, forget that I'm here. It doesn't matter. I'm only a solo. No one needs to worry about me right now. And you see that this is getting towards the final circle. There's still quite a bit of people alive. There's 13 players to be exact, but the circle is getting smaller and smaller. You see where the next one is. I mean, this is looking towards the end game right now.
Absolutely, and when we get into that final circle, those final 2 circles, that's when that bloodbath I mentioned, that's when it really begins. So we're seeing maybe 1 or 2 eliminations per couple of minutes. We're going to get to a point where it's 10 eliminations-ish in a matter of seconds. Like, in about a minute, we'll probably see about 6 to 7 people die, and we're just now waiting to get to that point. Orange Boy, I'm low-key rooting for him, this solo player stuck on his lonesome, just desperately trying not to be taken out, but Harsh and Control going to be pushing into Mandinka and Archer from the high ground, and Zoe is, no, excuse me, that's not Zoe, that's another duo going to be chasing behind Harsh and Control. So this is the best possible example I talked about, that they've got that target on their back, and this is everybody looking to find them, and they're gone. You blink and you miss it. They're taken out by Murder Man. He's got 5 eliminations right now.
Yeah, I think you called him Murder Man earlier. I think it's Murder Max, but Murder Man sounds about right.
Max, whatever, he's murdering everybody, isn't
he? Absolutely. So they take out one of those top squads. Archer, though, and Mandika know exactly where they are, so this is what we talked about with third party, and you win the fight. Luckily for you, you don't actually take that much damage. You're going into this with full health and full shields, but I mean, you don't have the high ground. You got to build up. You're going to be using a lot of materials, and you see already Archer's bringing out the shotguns.
Yeah, Yeah, that's gonna be their shotgun's coming out. That definitely does say Murder Max, so I apologize about that, folks. But you know, Murder Man's still a pretty cool name. Maybe think about changing it. And now Mandinka gonna
Branding.
be bringing, yeah, you know, changing up that branding. And TYQT, I don't know if that's supposed to be pronounced another way, but that is partnered with Murder Max, and Mandinka and Archer now gonna be in this gunfight. I want to shout out Orange Boy. He is still alive. He is still hiding under that building. Murder Max able to find 2 more eliminations, now sitting at 7. That is a net of 14 points. And with only 5 teams remaining, he's already close to top 3 teams. That's gonna be extra points on top of that. So now, honestly, if you're Murder Max and TYQT, you play the long game, I think. You just play it slow and you hide.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't need first place here. The difference between first and second place for points isn't too great.
And
It's
you've already
about
got 14
7.
guaranteed.
Yeah, so I mean that you're already going to make up double of what you'd lose if you get second place right now. You don't have to play 4 kills. You can play more for just trying to make it all the way in. This is someone we haven't seen really at all. I think I go with Lovo is the way I'd pronounce that. This is the first time we've seen them so far, and I don't think they've gotten much in kills, but I mean they're alive here at the very end. So we talked about that strategy of, you know, do you just play it safe until the end, or do you try to play more aggressively? Lovo, they're throwing themselves into the middle of the gunfight right now, so looks like they do not want to play it safe. Even as this final circle approaches, and everybody's going to be on the very edge of it.
I talked about it earlier. Some of these players just unbelievably bloodthirsty, and that might be what we're seeing here firsthand. It looks like Perksy going to be able to do a lot of damage, able to find 2 there. So he goes from 0 eliminations to 2. It looks like those are going to be some folks we did not, unfortunately, get to meet, but Perksy going to take them out of the fight down to our final 4 teams. So whichever team is taken out next is just barely going to dodge that top 3 placement. Orange Boy, I think, just trying to get top 3, but now they've been discovered, and honestly, I hope it works out well for them. We're going to see a build coming through super aggressive. It looks like it's going to be Perksy and Lovo, I believe, putting the pressure on. They're going to get collapsed inward as well. Orange Boy, my player of the match personally. I'm really starting to grow an attachment to this solo, desperately trying to stay alive, and he's got to outlive just 1 more team to get those points on the board.
Yeah, but they're not. It's not going to be enough. Immediately gets found out, Orange Boy.
Oh, my
valiant
heart.
effort.
A valiant effort indeed. A valiant effort indeed. Orange Boy, you may not have won the game, but you won my heart, to say the very least. And now, down to these 3 final teams. TYQT and Murder Max, honestly, just from what we've seen so far, they really seem to be the team to watch out for. They've got almost 10 eliminations between the 2 of them. But unless they start playing sloppy, I mean, they can clearly win a gunfight. You know what I mean?
They definitely can. They want to take that early engage. They want to go in with the shotguns.
Early shotguns come through there. That's going to be 1 partner already down. So Lovo, for the time being, on their lonesome, going to go down, try to find their partner. Probably not going to look for a resurrection, but maybe just try to protect them from being completely taken out.
At the end of doing it, looks like they are going to go for the rest.
Oh.
This is a bit risky, but I think that they actually both lost a team member in that fight. It looks like both of them are going for the res from the split screen we're seeing. So they're both the exact same scenario. There is going to be the res first for Lovos. They're going to be able to get their teammate up first, and so they're just going to try to find someone in that bush, but there's no one to be found. Both teammates are back up, but there's an beat battle still going on the ground. Yeah,
TYQT gonna have a lot of damage taken. They're gonna survive it. What is that? 5 health. So now Max is just gonna have to go for that turtling strat we talked about. And it looks like TYQT, they're gonna do a slow rotation, try to get out of there and drink as much shield as they can, because they're not gonna be able to heal up anytime soon. The push is gonna be stopped from Cypress and Zigzag Zoe here. So these 3 final teams, they've all kind of established their dominance in a certain area, and now they have to wait for the Storm to decide who's gonna be pushing into.
Yeah, there's going to be a sniper shot to take a little bit of damage. And we know where it's going. It's going to be going to the back of the player we're looking at right now. Now it's going to start moving. This is where things get really risky near the end, because you don't want to be too vulnerable. If you're TYQT, I mean, you guys are at the edge of the storm, so you're going to be the most vulnerable. And you see that on the other side, I mean, Level, they're already set up, waiting for the other 2 teams just to come in right now.
Yeah, and so Level, I mean, this duo really gets the advantage early on. They get the advantage of just simply being in the right place at the right time. We now see Cypress and Zigzag Zoe struggling to push in. TYQT is going to go for a hyper-aggressive push. Now we see players just, I mean, mixed up like crazy. It's going to be 6 players online. Still nobody taken down, but Cypress, I believe, knocked in the moment there. Going to be eliminated, and it looks like Murder Max almost gone as well, but now we are down to those final 2 teams. Murder Max and TYQT up against Twitch, Lovo, and Perksy. These 2 teams bringing it down to the wire, but there goes Murder Max, already going to be knocked, almost guaranteed taken out by the Storm, and that's going to come to an end. Lovo and Perksy, they somehow, some way, they make the magic happen. They secure that first round victory with, I think, 4 eliminations between the 2 of them.
Yeah, it was a good round. It was a good round. They get
absolutely
41 points. They get a few kill points in there as well, but I think the most impressive part about that final fight was the fact that it was over the water. I mean, we saw there was a bridge to the right, so there was stuff to build off of, but that's where how intense it can get in Fortnite. That's where the building really comes into, I think, the identity of the game, where, you know, if this is a different battle royale, you can't do that. You're just gonna swim and hope for the best, or maybe try to take the bridge, but there They try to get up, they get the high ground, they get, as we talked about, Perksy and Lovo, they get a very good vantage point where they're just waiting for everyone else to come in, so they can just kind of play back. They can take their shot when they want to, and then they can just wait to jump into the water at the very end, which is what they did. The victors goes the victory dive, I guess, and there they are going to take the most points in that matchup. So a great way to start off our first match. But for those teams that maybe didn't do as well earlier on, plenty of time to catch up. There's still 3 more on the docket.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to do the math in my head, but mental math is not my strong suit, as you may know. But for those watching, I'm not very good at that mental math, but I believe, so we see Perksy and Levo come in first place. They get the 8 additional points due to those eliminations that they had online, and then the points for winning. But Murder Max and TYQT, 14 points on top of that second place. So it's got to be close.
Yeah, so that would be 49 for first place. If we're doing this correctly, we will have our leaderboard later on correct us if we're wrong, and we're sorry about that, folks. Neither of us are mathematicians.
We're doing some math. We're trying our best.
But so it's actually going to be 1 extra point for the victors, because am I doing this right? Yeah, 34 plus 14, that's 48. So that's a 1 point difference. It's a 1 point difference for our victors versus second place.
That's a 1 elimination difference.
Yeah, so you get 1 more elimination, then you get to 50 or 51 in the case of whoever got that. But it's still great. It's still very close. And again, this is the 3rd week of qualifiers. So there's already been plenty of points earned by all these teams competing. This is not the end all be all. There might be plenty of time for certain teams to catch up if they've fallen off the wagon a little bit earlier. But for those top teams, a less than a stellar performance here is not going to be gut wrenching. It's not going to kill your dreams of taking home that $1,000 first place prize, part of that $4,000 prize pool. So it's there's a lot of numbers are going to be added up by the end of the day. This is just the first game, so that's what we're just going off of for this first one.
Yeah, we're going off of just the numbers in that first game and a lot of speculation. We're going off somebody played well that game, so they're definitely a name to watch out for, but they can be the very team eliminated first. That's the beauty of Fortnite, is it really comes down where you land, what weapons you have, what materials you have, and honestly how much attention you're paying, because sometimes somebody just sneaks up on you and dunks you. We saw that with Control and that teammate there when they were under the stairs. They just got swarmed. There was nothing they could do. A bunch of damage comes out early on, and they couldn't react fast enough. They were already low, so it's all about paying attention, looking at your 360, keeping an eye on everything around you, and honestly just hoping for the best to a certain extent.
Absolutely. And I haven't seen the Master Chief skin yet. I'm a little bit sad about that. I really want to see it. I'm sure a lot of those watching have probably been a Halo fan at one point or played the game. It's a staple of the gaming franchise. So we'll see if we see that skin later on. I'm really hoping we do, because I think that'll be fun. I feel like there weren't any super crazy skins that we really saw. I didn't see the banana one. I was thinking about Euceptilance.
Unfortunately, there was no PLE.
Yeah,
there was no PLE skin, but maybe somebody's watching during the break and they're like, oh, I'd love to make that caster happy, and they're going to swap over to the PLE skin. That would be pretty cool. I think I did see one of the old Knight skins, but I know they did a weird re-release of a couple of them a couple of years ago, so I don't know if it was the original or if it was one of the newer ones, but I did see a Knight in there somewhere for a brief moment, and then they died, so I didn't even get time to point it out. But also, I wish people were emoting more. Maybe not on each other, but I know there's that stupid little emote with the four-wheeler, and it's goofy, and I love it, and I hope we see that a little bit more. Going into our next match now, we're waiting to get players in lobby, and it's all about that speculation. Like we said, we can sit and theorize what's going to happen, but I think if Murder Max gets his hands on a gun again, 7 eliminations in tournament, not an easy thing to do. We are going to be throwing it to a quick break. We got to get some tech issues kind of lined up. We got to get some players in lobby, and we'll see you guys in just a couple of minutes.
In 2020, we interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you $250,000 worth of scholarships through Intel Inspires. Now, in 2021, we are the regularly scheduled programming. We are proud to announce the new AVGL high school program, backed by a myriad of colleges, influencers, and esports professionals. Up to $400,000 worth of scholarships, paid esports internships, content creator camps, and 50+ exclusive tournaments and events. We know the ropes, and after the experience granted to us through Intel Inspires, we're no longer tying knots, we're tying bows. Because esports isn't about skill, it's not about age, it's not even about experience, it's about attitude. And we at the AVGL are dedicated to bringing that attitude from the vault of the esports corporations and into your classroom. If there's one thing we've learned from a year at the forefront of collegiate esports, it's that professional gaming doesn't start with us. It starts with you.
Welcome back, you Fortnite fans. I am Septilence, joined here by Jag, to bring you the second of 4 matches of the AVGL Collegiate Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already talked about it a little bit. This is week 3. This is the last week of qualifiers to get into next week's grand finals. $4,000 prize pool, so a lot is on the line. We've already seen one team rise to the occasion and went out in that first one. They got about 49 points overall when all things were said and done, going to their total points they have to try to qualify. Already, we're going to be setting up into the second matchup, Septilence, and I'm wondering if we're going to see anything different. I think you nailed it on the head a bit earlier, and you said, things are going to be very slow. We're not going to see really any drop locations that are super, looks like super, like, a lot of people actually were seeing Ideal already fall very low. It looks like Ideal has been knocked in. I think that might be Lazy Lake, if I had to guess. Lazy Lake or the Swamp, but we're not going to be able to see that fight just yet.
It's gonna
And
be
already,
Selfress.
yeah, already like one of the more well-known teams might be down. There is gonna be Selfress right now.
Yeah, I was gonna make the comment. I hope we get to see a couple teams that didn't get their spotlight in that first game, and Ideal looks like they're gonna make that happen for us because it's gonna be taken out, so we won't be focusing on them as much, at least until that resurrection comes through. Zigzag Zo, we saw them earlier, made it down to I think our final 3 teams. I think they came in third of that last round there. So now Selfress and Zigzag Zo trying to make a name for themselves early on. Beast Ghost gonna be taken out, and it looks like we're gonna see a little bit of intel coming through there. It looks like they're gonna leave them to die just a little bit and wait for Native 8 to come through and try to go for the resurrection, but a shotgun kill may be pretty big here. Oh, he's gonna miss though.
Finds 1,
Oh,
finds
he's
2,
low.
finds
Ooh,
3.
Nice.
And that's a very smart calculator. It looks like they have their teammate right there at the very end, but it did look a little touch and go there for a second. And there's an emote. You asked for one. We got it.
They
chat.
love it. I love it. I'm proud of these folks already. They know their way to my heart. I love seeing stuff like that. And of course, not emoting on other players, just the emotes. They're goofy. They're fun. I like them a lot. And I feel like we don't see them enough in competitive play. Also, something that really screwed me up is Metro, who we are currently watching, and SOD MG, their partner, have the same skin on. So at one point we swapped, and I didn't even notice. So I was talking about the wrong person, but it looks like I am going to be able to get that figured out now. And the blue AR, I mean, that is huge. That gun packs a punch.
Yeah, it looks like we asked for that camaraderie, and maybe we asked for a little bit too much.
Maybe we asked for a little much.
Yeah, in those intense, very quick moments with those big fights, it can be a little bit confusing. But I was gonna just notify the audience, if you were a little bit confused about what happened there, why they picked them up, they were actually finding out exactly where their partners were. That totally gives away their location in real time. So as they're running at you, they knew exactly where your opponent would be. We're able to find them out. We're able to get the kill, and that was a team wipe early on. And just a good play overall from SOD MG. And, this is a team that we didn't get to see last time, so early on we're going to see a little bit of a different point of view, and already, points on the board, or at least.
Yeah, right. 4 points at least on board. And like you said, it's a point of view we didn't get to see, but for a brief moment we saw Control. Here's Love, O, and Perksy. We know them. They won that first round just moments ago. They were able to secure an insane amount of points for Hunt and Perksy, taking a lot of damage early on. However, it looks like Nando is going to be taken out instead. So Perksy going to take about 125 damage, 124. So they're going to be able to live and secure an elimination. 2 eliminations off the back of it. So this bloodthirsty team that we know and we love, they're coming back stronger than ever here in the second round.
Not only that, but they got to pick up Chug Splash. So we talked about how important it was, about how it's instantaneous. One thing we didn't even mention is that it's an AoE. So it's one of the main heals in the game that affects everyone in a certain space. It's not going to last a very long distance, but if you're right next to each other, everyone gets healed up by it. So there they can use some minis, then get to full health, full shields, and Selfress, their team that we've already seen. Looks like they're just going to be doing some building. I'm not sure if there's anyone in the vicinity. There are people on the other side of Lazy Lake. So, maybe some not needed materials used there, but they are going to be, breaking some bushes, getting some chests. So they know, at least we got to get our materials back. It's always important just to store everything in sight, especially things like furniture, because they break on 1 hit. 2 hits sometimes, as we see with that cabinet right there. But overall, they're keeping the resources. They're building up materials, and we saw how important that was in the late game last time with all those builds that came out on top of a water bank.
Yeah, I was going to say that very same thing. Is maybe Zigzag Zo and Sulfurous here, maybe they're going to farm a couple more materials, because I think that's why they lost that gunfight in that last matchup in that last round, because they just couldn't build on the lake anymore, and they got caught out in the open. But it's going to be Harsh and Control now, just kind of hovering over this team. I'm not even sure that Zigzag Zo and Sulfurous know they're there yet. Harsh just waiting for an opportunity to light them up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they knew before, but the fact that they've built up now a little bit of brick, they're going to be like, oh, that wasn't there before. That's kind of weird.
Wait a minute.
But they are, below ground right now, so they might not only they might realize it a little bit too late, when they peek up and then they get shot at and they're like, okay, someone else is here. Because these 2 teams have not really crossed this path. I said it earlier, but they were on opposite ends of that location, so they have not really interacted at all. And right now, Zigzag Zo, they're just trying to get materials, they're just trying to get resources, and Harsh and Control, they are setting up very well at this high ground. The good news for Zigzag Zo is they're below ground. They're not even in the main part of the house. They are in the basement, but now that they are going to be climbing a bit back up, you could see a gunfight break out any moment. And I just want to give a shout out to our observation team as well as our producer for these lovely sit screens, because it's just so awesome. It's great to see how these fights set up.
You know, it's stellar. I think it's super cool. I don't think I've ever done a broadcast where we get a live split screen like that, so that is super cool. And now Harsh gonna try to find the sniper shot, but he misses. He's able to find 31 shield there. Gonna put a little bit more pressure on, and Sulfur's gonna have to tuck their tail just a bit, build around the corner. Zigzagzo still in the basement, I believe. So if Harsh and Control choose to push in, this is gonna be a 2v1 at least for the time being. Sulfur's however gonna push into the house, try to get to his partner, and Zigzagzo gonna be running up from that basement. So the 2v1 does turn into a 2v2, and luckily Harsh and Control don't have a gas can this time, or that would be a death send. I
Just
said
as you
it.
say it.
I said it. I'm so sorry, Sulfurs. I'm so sorry, guys.
Gonna
But no,
break
it
the
looks
floor.
like
Gonna break the floor.
Oh, he's gonna drop it in. That could be huge. But no, I don't think he got anything actually. I'm dumbfounded to say the least. I thought Sulfurs was a goner.
They built enough wood around them, enough just wooden walls to basically absorb the blow there. And you saw there the wooden plank that was right above them. It was on fire. It was weak, but completely nullified any of the damage. It was a great attempt, the same exact play. Did not work out, but they know that they moved into the other basement, and now Harsh, they are stalking their prey. They want to find some kills here.
Yeah, Harsh is getting bloodthirsty here. I mean, he's made a couple aggressive options. He's really chosen to get close and personal. He's putting all of his builds away. It looks like they're going to go for a pincer attack here. Control and Harsh are going to be on opposite sides. Control going to be found out, but if I'm not mistaken, Harsh is sneaking up behind them as we speak. He was at least flying on the outside behind them. So there could be kind of a collapse option here, but looks like Sulfurs is playing both options and covering both walls. Going to force Control out, and Control and Harsh, I mean, they're going to be patient here. They're going to play like sharks. They're just going to wait. These two have to come out of the basement eventually.
They do. I think the biggest thing right now, if you're Harsh and Control, is that you might get third party. You might have someone run up to you eventually. I mean, Lazy Lake, it's kind of farther away from, it's on the edge of the circle, so maybe you won't see anyone, but there's going to be the gas can attempt once again. It's going to set fire to the basement. It does do damage. Zigzagzo did lose some health there, did lose some shield, so didn't pay off as well as they wanted to. Didn't get any eliminations just yet, but they are getting fights, and there's going to be the pincer attempt. See that Control's on the other side.
Yeah, and something I want to point out is about producers BB2, and here comes that third party. I woke up dead, flanking into the back line. This is somebody taken out super early on, but no, Harsh and Control are already gone. Those top dogs are going to fall once again, and I woke up dead with Orange Boy, going to try to find any kind of redemption or secrets last time. They had a little bit of trouble. I woke up dead, got eliminated super early, and Orange Boy made it somehow all the way to 4th place. So now they're going to try to get some kills early on and really rack up some points on board. I'm shocked Harsh and Control are gone, but you hit that nail right in the head. They were third party, and it cost them.
Yeah, they played too patiently. Sometimes you gotta move on. You gotta play the circle. You gotta play the objective. It's not all about getting kills. Again, we talked about this. Getting kills is not gonna get you the most amount of points in this game. And now it looks like there is gonna be another team here. So this is 3 teams right now battling it out on Lazy Lake.
Yeah, with the substitution, Murder Max is gone. It's gonna be the BFB instead. Playing with TYQT. So we talked about those substitutions and how you can have a third party available, so you can only submit 2 people in the round, but you can of course have a team of 3 for a substitute. The BFB going to be subbed in for Murder Max. You're already able to put some good damage onto I Woke Up Dead, and Orange Boy, I think going to get sniped there. This is not going to be good for them at all. I Woke Up Dead might have to live the redemption arc of Orange Boy, who made it all the way to 4th place last time. Going to try to find that resurrection, but I think there's only 2 teams in this fight. No, 3 teams, as Zigzagzo and Sulfurs are going to jump right onto that high ground and try to confirm that second kill onto I Woke Up Dead.
Everyone had just moved on to Lazy Lake, and now Zigzagzo. They're going to go a bit too close to the sun, though. The shotgun kill is going to take them down, and now the PvP might be able to find a little bit more. This is getting chaotic, Septilence.
There's not even like a third party. It's like a 2v2v2. Like, everybody's got some fair game here. These teams going toe-to-toe. Zigzagzo was taken out. I think he's not down. Yeah, okay, he's down, but he's not eliminated quite yet. Zalper's going to go for the carry, try to maybe find a resurrection, but you're smack in the middle of another gunfight. There's 2 more teams around you. Like, they could find you on accident, let alone hunt you down to take you out.
You look at the
It looks like he's gonna get it off.
Yeah, you look at the minimap, there's a team right on top of them. Yep, there it is. Thank you, observers. Very cool angle. They're right on top of them, but they're not gonna go down. I think they saw the shotguns that came out last time. They don't want to take that risk. So everyone's just gonna chill out, a gentleman's agreement, not to do anything quite yet. And just as I say that, it seems like TYQD is going to try to go in. They're going to be building down, and now the fight is back on.
I wonder if that's short for thank you, cutie, but honestly, we'll get to that point later. Also, a moment of silence there for Orange Boy and I Woke Up Dead. They unfortunately do not survive this battle, so the BFB and TYQT are able to take them out with the help of Sulfurs and their partner there, their duo, Zigzagzo. It's going to be a 2v2, and I mean, the builds here, I think at least a third of these don't belong to either of these teams. So that's going to be a huge issue. Now they have to break through them, they have to build their own, and they just have to constantly adapting. Right now, this is a perfect split screen. The BFB and Zigzagzo showing us exactly what this is all about. Build, run, get one good shot. Zigzagzo gonna drop to 32 health, and all of a sudden, BFB, we're gonna see them get crazy aggressive because they're 1 bullet away from eliminating Zigzagzo again. There it is.
Yeah, and they didn't have any instantaneous heals. They only had the med kit. It takes 10 seconds to use, and it looks like they're just gonna go for the pickaxe kill. No, dude, they get it? No, just a sliver of health right now. They're gonna get away from this somehow.
They were one pickaxe swing away, and it looks like he's gonna find it. The BFB and TYQT are gonna be bringing the heat. They're able to take these players
the donkey
offline.
Laugh.
We get the donkey laugh, and this is incredible. I may have asked for too much. I didn't realize so many of the players were actually watching this stream. I may have created a monster here, but TYQT is able to secure that victory, and we're gonna be back to Lovo with Perksy as that partner, and I would love to see how many eliminations they have between the two of them. It looks like it's gonna be 2 online, so just that duo we saw them take out earlier, but Mandinka and I believe Archer's their duo partner, gonna be a toe-to-toe again. 3 chug splashes online, a bunch of mini shields, and almost full health for the both of them. Mandinka falling incredibly low there.
This is on the other side of the map. This is in Weeping Woods. This is like all the way top left.
Oh, it sure is.
Before was bottom right, so action going out everywhere. Lovo does have those chug splashes, uses one, is going to go for the mini shield instead, and looks like Archer's going to be on the other side of the wall, but Chaos is still raining down. Now we're going to be moving actually to Hunter's Haven, so this is more near the middle of the map, and there's a B. A rocket launcher. You don't see that every day anymore, but it is still in the game.
Yeah, you definitely do not see it all the time, but like you said, it is still in the game, so you gotta keep an eye out for it. I saw a Peely! I saw a Banana Man! He's right there! It's gonna be Catnator, and he's gonna be taken out! Oh, there's 2 of them! I could not be more excited! There's gonna be 2 Peelys online, and it looks like one of them is gonna be able to secure a duo elimination. Looks like MBUAG is gonna be able to help maybe pick up their teammate's reboot card, but Catnator was taken out in the process. I'm sorry if I deafened you viewers at home. I was just super excited to see Peely there. Now we're going to be jumping back to Perksy and Lovo, and it looks like they were able to take out Mandinka's partner, Archer, so it's going to be a 2v1 again.
Mandinka going to be trying to live through this, but immediately taken down. It's just so hard to win those fights when you're in such close quarters, and I think you mentioned this before, and I wanted to address this to those who might not know Fortnite as well. You can edit what you build. You cannot edit other structures that have been built. So you can break them. It does not give you resources. You can just break them to create space. And I thought that was a really great point that you brought up there. There were just so many things on this structure that probably weren't there, so it'd be so hard to move around. In the day, Lovo, they are able to find the final kills. They are able to stay alive. And I mean, there's only, I believe, 7 duos left now. So this is, I feel like this the second matchup of 4 has had a much faster pace. We've seen a lot more people dropping at the same locations, and I love it. I love to see it. I love to see that fast-paced action. This is a team we saw at the very beginning, Metro Tejas and SODMG, SODMG, I believe is maybe the way that is pronounced. They are now trekking their way through the map. I'm not sure if they've gotten any more kills in the first ones, but we know, again, at least 4 points, and they have survived for quite a while. And in 7th place, they will at least get 20 points, so that's 24 for them. It looks like they're going to be getting some wheels. And, you know, we don't see vehicles being used a lot in this, and I think that's because there's a lot less duos on the map. It's not a full lobby. I feel like maybe with a more full lobby, we'd see a lot more. And, you know, it's nice to see the cars. It's an interesting dynamic, but they're going to be driving right into actually a fight. Season Big Complex is right now in a 1v2.
Oh, and a 1v2, and he already jumps to 4 health, and you've got to assume that he's, going to be taken out here. 4 health is not
There's the night skin.
Back from. And there's the night skin, so yeah, keep an eye out for that as well. They bring the night skin online. Ideal has been gone. I think the first person eliminated, taken out in the beginning of this round. And Mick Complex, unable to find any eliminations. They're not going to be able to place either with 6 teams left. Maybe you're able to heal up and dip. You've got some bounce pads, but nope. A shotgun shot from Ult for Coaching is going to be able to get them offline. And I believe that's Shafi. That's how I'm going to choose to say that. Shafi, and Ult for Coaching. They're going to be able to net, I think, only the 1 elimination between the 2 of them so far. But we'll have to get another look in just a minute. We're down to our final 5 teams. And TYQT did just pick up another elimination there. Metro Tejas and SODMG, 3 eliminations between the 2 of them, but Metro has all of them.
Yep, and I mean that's gonna be good for your KD at the end of the day. You know, it's not gonna change the scoring at all. But I mean, at least you can like say, hey man, hey bro, or hey friend, I carried you. So now you gotta be the driver. But as they continue to use this act, it was really interesting. They didn't want to take that fight. They didn't want a third party, and now they're gonna be driving right into another team, BFB. And TYQT that we've already seen earlier. I think it is thank you QT, but you know we don't want to assume too much here. But there is going to be Metro Tejas now and SODMG. They are going to be facing off against TYQT, so they finally found a team they want to go do-si-do with.
Yep, these are 2 bloodthirsty teams as well. I mean, this team has 2 eliminations, the other team has 3. TYQT gonna almost fall, but Metro Tejas gonna be taken out instead. The full elimination comes through, and now, I mean, you just handed TYQT a purple AR, and that's gonna be huge. That gun has a little bit less bloom than a lot of other guns in the game. It's a little bit more accurate, and they've got the purple S. I mean, BFB's got a full kit here. I mean, we're looking at 3 purple weapons: the shotgun, the assault rifle, and the SMG, 6 mini shields, and 3 chug splashes. So definitely definitely a great kit. And I mean, blink and you miss it. We were just at 6 teams. We're already down to our final 3.
Yeah, final 3 duos, and the circle's still pretty big, honestly. I mean, you
it really
see
is, yeah.
I mean, you see Shafi. They are all the way kind of on the other side, but it looks like BFB and TYQD, they want to try to play a bit more aggressively. They're going to be running into Perksy, and this is very interesting about Perksy in Lobo, is they're very split. So this could work out really well for them. I mean, if Lobo can find the angle, if they have a sniper rifle at their disposal, maybe they can find some shots while they're looking at Perksy. It looks like that's actually what's going to happen, is BFB is going to fall very low. But if Perksy's run up on, I mean, that's just setting yourself up for disaster. But you saw for a second, they might actually be looking to take Level off the high ground, but they don't even have to, as Level's actually going to drop right to them. And Perksy almost had an angle there, but it looks like they're actually just going to be saying hi to their partner, and now they're going to be dropping below and trying to take this fight to them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Perksy and Levo, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, you're netting more points, and you already came in 1st for one of these rounds. It's not super often you're seeing the same team place top 3 in matchups like this, but Perksy and Levo, they're here to stick around, and TYQT, I think they were almost top 3 last time, if not top 3 as well. So, I mean, it's definitely some teams with great value coming through. Perksy already going to take 70 damage here. Only has 2 weapons online. And don't get me wrong, they're good ones, but you've got to reload your gun at one point or another. And Perksy down to 15 health. Going to have to commit to a heal here to stay alive. But there goes BFB and Levo. So an immediate trade coming through. BFB going to be taken out, but Levo gone as well. TYQT able to find the elimination, but now they're going to have to question, do I go for the res on my partner? Because BFB, wherever they are, they're still alive.
Right now, TYQT doesn't have full health, doesn't have full shield, so they're in a better position than Perksy overall from doing that map correctly. And look all for coaching Shafi. They realize that this is their time to go in. They are trying to find out anyone here. They're trying to find those final 2 eliminations. They are going hunting. And it looks like they might be running right into Perksy in just a moment. Perksy, I believe, is a bit above them right now, so might have a bit of a high ground advantage, at least for the time being. But none of them right now. Yeah, they're not even gonna go for the shot. They're just gonna wait that. I think that's really smart. They could just run for the circle right now.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a rough call out there, but Perksy, I mean, it's smart enough. They don't see you don't give yourself away, and now they're just going to be hunting down TYQT, who's going to be down to about 70 health, stuck in the storm, taking 5 damage. Perksy just getting to heal up a little bit over time, maybe going to drop in a 3rd party. Now is Shafi super low, going to be able to do a lot of damage. We're going to get caught in the storm a little bit as well. We're down to 2 teams. It's going to be Perksy versus the world here. TYQT was eliminated, and BFB was not able to get back up in that time, so Perksy, best case scenario, 1st place again, but worst case, 2nd place. Like, that's a win-win if I've ever heard it.
It is, but I think you want to keep establishing your dominance. You don't
of course.
want to get 2nd place, but I mean, it is a 1v2, so it's going to be pretty difficult right now. And this was just so well played for Alpha Coach and Shafi. I mean, I noted them early on. They waited at the very edge of the last circle. They just waited for their time to strike, and this is their time to strike. Perksy going to fall to 110 health. Tries to have the mini shield out, but is going to be taken down. And those are some shotguns, I think. I think that might be... I think that is the Dragon's Breath in the hand right now, Shafi. Remember that correctly?
I'm not sure, honestly, but it is a good shotgun nonetheless. Also, shout out to Alt for coaching. We're just now getting to see them. They have one of those Street Fighter skins, which is neat. Street Fighter's a fun game. But I mean, honestly, if you're Perksy, and I can't think of their teammate's name off the top of my head, Levo, but I mean, best case scenario, you come in 1st one round and 2nd in another, that's a lot of points. Notably more points than anybody else is going to have on board right now, because the other teams that finished top 3, I don't think were top 3 last time around.
Yeah,
TYQT may have been 3rd.
I think they were 4th or 5th. I remember them at least being like the final 6, 7-ish. So they were definitely near the end of that first matchup, but I don't think they were in the top 3. So I mean, they're gonna get more points this time around. But I mean, if you're finishing in the top 3 every time, it's just a really good way to be. There, you can't get the final finish. You get 7 less points. 41 for 1st place, 34 points for 2nd place, but I mean, you already got 41 the first time. You don't want to be too greedy. You gotta spread the love around. You gotta spread the wealth a little bit. And these points are for qualification. Again, we do not know exactly where everyone is standing right now, but we do know right now that this squad of Levo and Perksy are doing quite well. We still have 2 more matches coming up, so maybe the tables could still be turned at some point. Maybe a team that didn't do as well rise to the occasion. We saw one team, I think it was Ideal. They were taken out right off the bat. And that was a team that we were very high on earlier on, very hyped about. So they have circled just a little bit. I think they didn't have the best landing, and we saw that sometimes if you try to go for those hot drops, it does not work out for you despite how skilled you might be. I mean, it's kind of a it's just sometimes the lottery. Some other battle royales you start with a pistol, or not, you only get a pickaxe. So you might land and you only get ammo, no gun in sight, nothing to help you out, and a pickaxe versus a shotgun, usually the gun wins. Don't bring a pickaxe to a gunfight.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. Don't bring a pickaxe to a gunfight. You don't want to go for those hot drops all the time. It's so high risk, high reward, and unfortunately for Ideal, it just doesn't work out that time. The duo pays the price for it. I think they were taken out pretty early on as a duo with 0 eliminations online. So unfortunately, not their best round, but Herxy and Levo, I mean, 2 top 3 placements in a row. It's going to be hard to knock them out of that first place position, I think. We're really going to have to see somebody come out from underneath and really just emerge from the shadows to really put the pressure on and find some great value. I do think we're going to be throwing into another quick break, so we're going to throw into a quick break. Everybody, check your posture, drink some water. I'm going to run to the restroom. You guys might want to do that too, and we'll see you guys in just a couple of minutes.
In 2020, we interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you $250,000 worth of scholarships through Intel Inspires. Now, in 2021, we are the regularly scheduled programming. We are proud to announce the new AVGL high school program, backed by a myriad of colleges, influencers, and esports professionals. Up to $400,000 worth of scholarships, paid esports internships, content creator camps, and 50+ exclusive tournaments and events. We know the ropes, and after the experience granted to us through Intel Inspires, we're no longer tying knots, we're tying bows. Because esports isn't about skill, it's not about age, it's not even about experience, it's about attitude. And we at the AVGL are dedicated to bringing that attitude from the vault of the esports corporations and into your classroom. If there's one thing we've learned from a year at the forefront of collegiate esports, it's that professional gaming doesn't start with us. It starts with you.
Welcome back, Fortnite fans. I'm still Septilence, that's still Jag, and we are going to go into the third of 4 games here of the AVGL Collegiate Champions League.
Yeah, we've already gone through 2. We got 2 more to go, and as a reminder, this is the last week of qualifiers for that $4,000 prize pool championship tournament next week. 6 games next week to determine who's going to get a piece of that pie. $1,000 goes to the winning squad, the winning duo or trio, because there are subs. We've already seen one sub come in, and that team did a little bit better, I believe. I think they were able to find some more success after that swap, so we might see some more later. I think we're going to be jumping in to this third matchup in any moment. So Septilence, is there anything that you want to see in this third one? I think there were some big differences between the first and second match, and a big part of it was just the pace of the game was a lot quicker in the second one.
Absolutely. I think fast pace is what made that game so much quicker. People all landed in the same spots. We saw an elimination before we even got into the game. We had joined and somebody was downed already, so it really came through super fast. It looks like we're going to be looking at Zubia SS is how I'm going to choose to pronounce that. We saw them for a brief moment. Them and Nando were taken out pretty much as soon as we saw them last time, unfortunately, so we're going to get to spend a little bit more time with them. But as I'm sure you guys can see just over the horizon, those names, Perksy and Lovo, they are also at Slurpy Swamp, and they have been on nothing short of a rampage for every game we've seen so far.
Absolutely, and if you want to find great gear like this, try to level yourself up, compete with some of the best in the business, be sure to shop at Esport Certified. It's a gaming gear destination exclusively for college and university students like those competing today. Give her today's top premier esports gear from Razer, SteelSeries, HyperX, and more, all at amazing savings. Visit today at esportcertified.com. And while we did see the possible engagement, maybe we do see still Swamp. Maybe we see at the Swamp right now. They are still very, very close to each other. We don't really see a lot of other teams doubling up anywhere. I think that's really the only place actually on the map right now you might see a very quick fight break out.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well. Everybody else, like, coincidentally, everyone landed in a different location. So we do only have 13 teams, so that's totally possible. Like, that, everybody could have found a location they wanted to land at. And now Nando and Levo, they're really going to have to bring the heat, because this team, or not Nando and Levo, I'm sorry, Julia and Nando are going to have to bring the heat against Perksy and Levo, because they've hardly lost a fight so far. Like, they've lost pretty much 1 fight so far in 2 games, and that is a terrifying thing to consider. Nando and Zui are going to be caught at the bottom there. Perksy and Levo going to go for kind of a pincer effect here from the high ground, going to force out a lot of materials and a lot of builds. Nando and Zui are just going to try to stay alive, but now, like I say, it's not every day you see somebody survive a turtling situation like this.
It's not, and now Levo's got the complete high ground advantage over them. They got the shotgun already busted out, trying to build some walls so that way they cannot build first. If you build the wall first, then you can edit it, go for that quick edit shot, and then that bounce back. But here's the problem. When you play the pincer at such close range, if they decide to go into one target like they just did, it could work out, but Nando is not going to be able to find the damage, and it looks like Zulia might be a little bit behind them. They do find a shot right into the wall, actually, does not connect, and now there's going to be that squad being wiped out early, so that was a very early engage. I think that's going to be really the only engage we see for a bit. I did see there was another team not too far away from Slurpy Swamp. They were a little bit to the right at one of the unnamed locations, but looks like they will not be making their way there just yet, and Level and Perksy, they are picking up where they left off.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better, and honestly, that is just the unfortunate truth of Fortnite, is sometimes you just land unlucky. And now it's going to be I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy, who seem to love these vehicles, going to be back in one of them, and I think Orange Boy is glitching out a little bit for us in the spectator mode. He's just standing up in the vehicle. You love to see it, and now No, they're just going to be going for the circle. They make it in early on, and now they're going to try to farm some more materials. That's going to be a great call. Looks like he's got that golden, I think it's like Meliodas skin. I can't remember the name of it, but he's got a golden skin here either way, and 200 health for the both of them. Now, looking better than I think they have every time we've seen them up to this point. So they really may be able to turn things around here.
Yeah, there's going to be a wacky inflatable armed tube in there, or I guess armed llama. As we see the face just for a second. I was gonna say that's like a DIY sunroof, right? You're just like, I'm gonna break the roof with my head, but that was a head that almost got broken. The conflicts just missing the headshot by an inch. It looks like sub 2 there is really lucky to get out of that shot. Now DC Chill Guy and sub 2, they are being run up on, and they do not have the high ground here. Another shot gonna be missed. I'm wondering, there's a car, there's an RPG, and this fight might be completely turned around. Another rocket launcher now going to be coming out to play.
We're seeing a lot of those today. I hardly expected to see one, let alone two, but Lucy has that online. It looks like that rocket launcher is going to be their Beastly Chill Guy with a couple weapons of their own, but no rocket launchers by any means. Going to take a lot of damage early on. Already down to 13 shield. That's plenty survivable now. Ooh, okay, that's going to make it a little bit harder. Shield's completely offline, down to 92 health. Going to go for a little bit of a turtle strap, but not completely defensive. Still going to be pushing through an Ideal. Going to be trying to stay alive as well. So now we're going to see Lucino taken out by Mick Complex. Ideal trying to do a bit of a vengeance call for themselves. Might be able to find Beastly Chill, but no, going to be taken out instead. There's the pickup from Mixed Complex. He finds them both with the knockdown, and Ideal goes down, but is going to be able to get res, and I know that there's at least one med kit in there between that fallen duo.
Yeah, and I think, like, if you're gonna go out, this is my play. Maybe I'm just a little bit spiteful, but I'd go for the kill on the person who's down, because that'll just make it so much more difficult for them having to go for the resurrection later on. But they only get the knock, they don't get the kill, they don't get the points also. That's another thing. So, like, even if you're gonna go out early, at least you'll get 2 points for that kill. Unfortunately, they do not find it. The whole team gets wiped, and now Ideal isn't a little lot longer. Remember, they were the first person to go down last time, so the Convict's gonna have 2 kills. That's 4 points for their duo. And as you see on the map, there is not really anyone too close, Richard. That's something that we noticed a bit earlier. This is probably the slowest pace game. I feel like on the first one, it was pretty slow, but as the circle moved in more and more, teams were getting closer and closer to each other, especially on, I think, the more northern side of the map here. It's just everyone is like at the edge. There's no one even close to the middle right now.
We also see a very unusual form of storage coming out from a Hackborn here, which is usually when I play, I have like all my meds on one side and my guns on the other side, but he's got like gun med, gun. So that is something definitely unusual. Not that it's going to impact his gameplay. I just thought that was kind of weird. We still have 10 teams left, which, like you said, like that's a lot. I feel like normally we've got at least a couple more kills have come through. We're usually, I'd say, around 7 or 8 realistically, but for the time being, we're still up at 10 and control. Maybe that's not a bug. Maybe we're just not supposed to see that from third person very often. I don't know, but it looks like Harsh and Control, they're going to be alive. 0 kills between the two of them, and they've been forced to play a lot slower today, I feel, because they had a very decent lead early on. Like before we even started today, they were in one of those first place positions. Now Ideal and Mick Complex, they lost this gunfight once in game 1. It looks like they might go for it again here in game 3.
They might just try to back it. It looks like they're just trying to create separation. Yeah, they're just trying to dip. They're like, nah, this is not worth it. They don't really have the range. I mean, they do have that blue sniper rifle, but I mean, every shot you got to reload, so you really can't go for those long range trades. You guys got to hit the one shot, one kill, or one shot, one, I guess, knock in this scenario. There, they decide not to even bother with it. That could have been a fight, but instead, actually, this is going to be great positioning. They're going to be able to get the care package just dropped right into their waiting arm, so we'll see if they get anything good there. And one thing I want to go back to is what you said about having your, like, I guess your items, optimized. If you're on PC, I mean, that works out really well for you. But you don't necessarily need it because you have hotkeys, right? If you're on console like PlayStation or Xbox, then that's where it's really, really important. And this is cross.
I completely forgot some of these players were not on PC. Yeah, I totally forgot. You're totally right.
Everything, I think, except for Switch. I think it's only PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So
mobile.
I don't think so. I think it's just
mobile players.
I think it's just those 3, if I remember, if I'm reading the rules correctly. So no
I would
mobile.
Be quite surprised if there was, to be honest.
No Switch, but what there is right now is another gunfight at Mid Complex. They tried to get out of one fight, but now they're going to be taking on the winners of that second matchup.
Again, it looks like we saw a couple of those NPCs, a couple of those bots attacking ult for coaching there, so that's going to draw his attention the other way. I think I saw an exclamation point there for a moment, but Shaffy now going to be turtling just a little bit, going to walk out in that. I think that was like one of those anime skins, and those are always kind of terrifying when they're coming at you with a shotgun like that. But now we see Ideal and Bit Complex trying to find that knock, because taking a 2v1 obviously so much easier than a 2v2. Able to no, excuse me, that's no, ult for coaching is also gone. That was so fast. Wow, great coordination from from Mixed Complex and Ideal there. I could hardly catch up what was going on.
Tactical shotguns are just the name of the game. They've been
so
a
strong.
staple for so long. They're semi-automatic. You don't have to wait. I mean, you and I were talking about this before we went live. The charged shotgun, get that out of here. We don't want to see that any day of the week. Tactical shotgun is the way to go. They run up, they find the kills. And now, Complex and Ideal, they were able to avoid this matchup before of Control.
But only for so long.
But now it looks like they may be running. It looks like they just been like chasing them down. Like, you know, they're on the case.
These two are bloodthirsty.
It's Scooby-Doo investigations right now. They caught the scent. They cannot go away from it. They're going to find them. They might find a Scooby snack at the end of the day as well. But for now, they're just in a build.
We saw this last game.
Yeah,
we saw they were so bloodthirsty it cost them their lives. Like they wanted these kills so bad.
I guess in that scenario, last game they just waited for too long. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, you're just following a team. You're trying to find them out, and if you play that instead of playing for the objective, I mean, we saw what happened. They got third party. They got run up by another duo, and they got taken down. Now, I mean, this is a bit different because they've been changing position. At least they've been moving, I think, closer and closer to the circle. I'm not exactly sure which direction they've been moving in so far, but regardless, they have been just following this team in and out of the game so far. It looks like they've been trying to figure out where they are, but again, Ideal and Mid-Complex, they're going to be running, but now they're going to be running right into Archer.
Just Archer. It's okay. No, they're just kidding. Mandinka popped up right at the final moment there before we switched screens. Now Archer kind of going for that gem strat as well, or that rock strat. They're all kind of using it to teleport, jump a little bit further. Here comes that rocket launcher again. I completely forgot they had that. It's going to be flying out here, trying to find any kind of value. Takes 5 damage, but that's not enough to scare somebody off with a rocket launcher. I think he misses the shot there. I think it went through the build. I don't think he was able to find any value with it quite yet. But Archer standing 5 feet away, almost taken out. There's only 1 rocket left. If you're Ideal, you've got to make it count.
Yeah, and then that gun's going to be completely useless. I guess it's more an explosive than a gun, but you got to find it. You got to stick the landing. But right now, shotguns on shotguns. Again, that's the name of the game. These tactical shotguns are going to bring Ideal to 30 health and no shield, and now they're going to have to try to go for some fishes there. That's going to be instantaneous healing.
Absolutely, those fish, like we talked about at the very beginning for those of you who were there with us, those fish, they heal you up super fast, way faster than healing and way faster than a shield. So you definitely want to have a couple on standby if you're able to. And we saw that it worked out super well for Ideal. It gets them back up. They have plenty of time to shield as well. Oh, but they're already gone. That's so sad. But he's going to have to do the same thing over and over again. He's going to have to full commit. We see, I think, an SMG able to find even more damage. They're already committing to metal. I also want to point out that that's all Mech Complex has left. We're down to 4 more platforms, and they're out of builds. I think Ideal is in a very similar boat.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. They are more sturdy. They can take more damage, but they also take longer to actually spawn fully. They take longer to build, quote unquote. So they can be easily destroyed in the middle of that process, but it looks like they will not be yet. And what are you seeing, Sept?
This is just a new gunfight. I'm just seeing, this is Perksy and Levo versus Harsh and Control. I mean, then we're all of a sudden we're back. So Ideal going to be taken out by Archer instantaneously, and there goes Mandinka. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. A Mid Complex versus, I can't.
They're in the storm right now.
To find it, and everybody's in the storm. It's only a 1 tick right now, but now we're seeing Mid Complex get healed up due to that elimination. Archer the very same. So it's going to be the 1-to-1, and it's going to be Mid Complex able to turn things around. Going to be able to take Archer out of the fight. That is the 5th, 6th elimination for the duo, but 5th for Mid Complex there. Oh, there's no way he walked. Okay, he picked up a different gun. I was gonna, there's no way he walked with a 2 sniper rifle.
Levo in a lot of hurt right now. Percy also not too far behind. This is a duel happening more towards where the circle is going to be ending up right outside of Lazy Lake. There's going to be the limb onto Levo, or at least the knock, not the limb, just right. But Percy is in no place to try to go for this resurrection.
Oh, Perksy gonna have to try and get out. There's no way you win this 2v1, right? Already taking 35 damage, shields offline, control is low, but I mean, if you're Perksy, you can't miss a shot here. You are now in the storm, and yeah, I think Levo's dead. I think Levo's pretty much guaranteed dead here. Control and Harsh don't even have to kill Perksy. They just have to make sure that Perksy doesn't get to Levo in the next 2. Yeah, there it is. Never mind, they're gone. The leading duo is off the map.
Yep, they end up being taken out. There's still 6 duos left, so there's still on. There's going to be another fight breaking out near the top of the map, more north. Orange Boy, not sure if their partner is still alive. Have not seen them.
No, he's not
just yet. All right, now Orange Boy going to be running right into a world of hurt, and Zigzagzo and their partner looks like they might be finishing off a player that caught our hearts a little bit earlier on, but they're going to be getting top 6, so not a bad finish for sure. But I'm sure they also want to stay alive a little bit longer. Maybe just try to hide like they did last time.
Yeah, so Orange Boy has 4 eliminations on board, which is the most they've had by a country mile. They have, I think they've finished both games with 0. They came in 4th the one time, and now it looks like they're going to come in 6th. They are 1 bullet from death, taken out in the sky by Sulphurus and Zigzagzo, who we've seen quite a few times. These definitely some returning names, putting the pressure on. It looks like somebody on the back hill there goes for a quick sniper shot. They're not able to find it. Down to our final 5 teams, 8 players left, which means there is somebody running around here on their lonesome.
There's a squad a little bit under them to the east. So we'll see how that goes. I believe they have the high ground on the mountain, but you see both these teams are pretty far away from the circle is going to end up once it starts coming in again. So this is really not great for ZigZagZo right now, and their partner, because they are all alone on that side.
Oh, it's McComplex. We knew that.
They're gonna have to try to run out. Yeah, McComplex is that solo player. They're gonna be a little bit closer to the circle, but you see, actually, I believe that ZigZagZo is a little bit above them. I am remember that correctly in the map positioning. So all the teams are starting to come, to a close, come to the precipice of the center. And I mean, this is where things really come to a close, because this is where all the teams are starting to run into each other. There is going to be ZigZagZo taking. I don't think they took any damage there. I think the car was able to dodge.
The
now,
vehicle. Yeah.
Both players have their own cars. Who needs economy, right? Who needs to save money on gas?
Absolutely. Who needs to walk when you can drive in style like this? Sulfurous and ZigZagZo rocking their own vehicles. That is hysterical. I love to see that. We were talking about that earlier. You hardly see teams use a vehicle, let alone two. That is twice as loud. So definitely an unusual choice, a fashionable one to say the very least. So now it looks like I think we saw for a brief moment McComplex is about to be approaching the edges of Retail Row, and I think that's them actually headed toward Caddy Corner. I honestly can't tell. There might be 2 solo players, I believe. I think we're looking at 3 duos and 2 solo players.
There's gonna be right here, right? There's gonna be the resurrection. We're finally gonna see the reboot come through. So, I mean, no one was the wiser. McComplex. They're gonna get their partner back. This is ginormous right now, actually.
Yeah, that's massive. They don't have a lot of weapons, and oh, no way they res Ideal just for ZigZagZo and Sulfurous to mess things up. And with the storm closing in, McComplex is just going to be stuck here. Ideal separated as well, so they're stuck kind of far away from one another. Sulfurous getting greedy, going for the kill up close and personal, and Sulfurous able to find Ideal as well. So just trying to look for these kills. It's going to be 2 1v1s rather than a 2v2, as these players are going to go toe-to-toe with one another. McComplex and Ideal, like, you want this bad, right? You go through all that work to res your teammate. You do not just want to be taken out like that. ZigZagZo going to take a little bit of damage early on, and it looks like we might see McComplex able to find a little bit of damage onto Sulfurous, but now Ideal going to be caught out underneath. Nobody's falling quite yet, but a lot of damage on both sides. Ideal only at 50 shield, and ZigZagZo already down a little bit of shields on their own.
And I mean, we saw that Ideal gave them resources, but do they have a weapon? I'm not even sure that they have a weapon right now.
I think you spawn with a pistol, so at the very least, I think they have a pistol, but other than that, I don't think they have like a gun.
See if we get to see their POV in a second, but this is actually a sort of winnable fight. They've done damage to ZigZagZo. Ideal does have full shield now, and they actually have more health right now. I just don't know if they have the firepower, but now that I say that there is
Chug Splash.
That Chug Splash might totally mitigate what I just said. I mean, this circle they're right on the edge of it, but like Liquid's gonna end up next, so they're totally okay now. McComplex, they're gonna be falling pretty low.
Yeah, they're going to lose all their shields, and ZigZagZo's not going to let a kill go like that. He's going to go down and put the aggression on. We do find out that Ideal does have some weapons. Got that gray heavy assault rifle, a green pistol, or excuse me, a green heavy assault rifle, green pistol, and that blue sniper rifle per the usual, that bolt action that we know and love that we haven't really seen utilized quite yet. Nobody's been able to hit those shots, but to be fair, those are some tough shots to hit. So no trash talk on anybody. Going to be 35 damage, broken shields there from Ideal onto ZigZagZo. These players are running out of time. They've got 60 seconds to get in the circle with a storm. Like, this is where it really starts to hurt.
And even though it's very close by, I mean, you want to rotate as soon as possible. You don't want to put anything up the chance. You don't want to take some damage, especially if you do end up engaging in a gunfight. So I mean, neither of them are really, I would say neither of them are in great position right now, honestly. Neither of them are there isn't one that's going to be immediately able to just walk out of this. And now that circle is in closing. And as you see on the other side, it looks like we've got Naive 8, who is down right now, and it looks like their partner Beast Ghost might be just trying to run its Control and Harsh, that duo that we talked about, how well they've been doing so far in qualifiers. Haven't really been able to have the best day today, but this might be their game.
And there it is. I mean, talk about bloodthirsty. These two just try so hard to get these eliminations. Control tries to go for a kill, and McComplex, McComplex is able to find ZigZagZo. It's going to be Sulfurous in a 2v1, taking a bunch of damage there. If Ideal can pick this up, or McComplex, and they're able to. That is insane. That is 8 eliminations on board for this duo so far. They are coming back stronger than ever. McComplex with the carry today.
And as I say, they might get stopped by some builds there, but it looks
not Harsh.
Looks like they will get out, but now Harsh uses jump pad to try to get a little bit further. They are running in. They see Ideal. They see that Ideal is weak, and after a great victory, it looks like Harsh might just try to do it themselves.
Harsh is about to dive in face first and knock Ideal. You go through all that effort. You come back for 1 elimination, but it's just not enough. Ideal is gone, and McComplex back on their lonesome. It's going to be top 4. So honestly, if you're McComplex, your best bet might just be get out of here. Honestly, try to survive that top 3. But here comes Ghost. I didn't catch the first part of the name. Something Ghost. If you're able to get rid of them, I think they're another solo. Beast Ghost is going to try to put that pressure on now. So McComplex, I think you really need to just hide. It's about that top 3 survival.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Orange Boy do this earlier, and it worked out really well for them.
And it worked!
Yeah, it worked out so well for them. So I think, you know, if you can hide, just go for it. McComplex right now and Beast Ghost are both the only one left on their squad. I think that Control and Harsh might be the only full squad right now, and they're completely split.
Yeah, they're split like crazy, so if one of them gets knocked, it's going to be 4 solo players on their lonesome. Big Complex going to be hugging the Storm, hiding in the builds, and we're going to see, wait, Harsh might go down here, but no, instead it's going to be a Hackborn, who we saw right at the very beginning. Beast Ghost gone as well, so actually, huge kudos here, because this is top 2. Mick Complex, somehow 8 eliminations on board, going to come in 2nd place at the very least. Who knows? There's plenty of frag potential left. You don't get 7 elims on accident.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible,
oh, no, they
but
found him!
Yeah,
oh,
they know exactly where you are, and they're going to be just like piranhas in the water. They have been so aggressive. We've seen them use so many jump pads, and now they are just running in full steam ahead. Mick Complex.
Oh, it's over. It's over. They go for the pickaxe kill. They find it, and we're going to get the emote off of it as well, so huge shout out on that. A little victory dance coming through from Harsh and Control. Coming back stronger than ever today. And also something I want to point out is they get that 1st place win. But, I mean, we saw the 2nd place team had 8 eliminations. Harsh and Control only had 7. So, I mean, not that that makes a huge difference, but just to talk about the frag potential and, like, how much eliminations can really, like, it can really come down to. We saw in the first game, there was a differential in points due to 1 elimination. So it was like, you got to keep that in mind, is if they keep popping off like this with a 2nd place finish, those points are going to add up.
Yeah, and you and I are agreement. I mean, placement, more important than kills, but if you can pop off, if you're confident, if you've got the weapons, I mean, maybe play, you know, you don't have to play too aggressive. I think we've seen some teams that have been a little bit too bloodthirsty, and it's cost them because they've ended up, like, winning fights, but then being really weak and then getting third-partied, or just sometimes, you know, they've been in bad positions where they're outside the storm and then they're playing catch-up and they're taking damage from it. So you gotta balance it out. But there you saw Control and Harsh. They knew the game was just in their hands. They knew they were the only full duo left. And they knew they'd already gotten a lot of kills, so they went in. But, I mean, Ideal and Mick Complex, I think that was just one heck of a run they had there. I mean, again, Ideal brought back from the dead, and it looks like they are immediately going to be sent back to respawn for that 4th matchup. Some were able to win that one. I think the duo they were facing, again, like, they were just a little bit of deers in the headlights, maybe a little bit too tunnel visioned in. They really wanted to get those kills before the storm came in. They should have just, you know, gotten out of that engagement, gotten out of that structure, which was, at that point, there was just so many builds around. Who knows who would actually, you know, if you could break it, if you can edit it, you don't want to risk it when the storm's coming. You just want to run out, set up, wait for them to come in, and have the better advantage point. But they don't do that, and because of that, Big Complex and Ideal get to 2nd place. And with that, Sebulance, I think we're going to throw it to a break before our 4th and final match. Not only this week 3 of qualifiers, but qualifiers in general are going to be coming to a close in just a few moments. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that last matchup in just a little bit.
In 2020, we interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you $250,000 worth of scholarships through Intel Inspires. Now, in 2021, we are the regularly scheduled programming. We are proud to announce the new AVGL high school program, backed by a myriad of colleges, influencers, and esports professionals. Up to $400,000 worth of scholarships, paid esports internships, content creator camps, and 50+ exclusive tournaments and events. We know the ropes, and after the experience granted to us through Intel Inspires, we're no longer tying knots, we're tying bows. Because esports isn't about skill, it's not about age, it's not even about experience, it's about attitude. And we at the AVGL are dedicated to bringing that attitude from the vault of the esports corporations and into your classroom. If there's one thing we've learned from a year at the forefront of collegiate esports, it's that professional gaming doesn't start with us. It starts with you.
Welcome back, everybody, to our fourth and final game here of today's AVGL Collegiate Champions League, as well as the final day of qualifiers.
Final day, final week, final match, a lot of final things here, but what's not final is what teams are going to be moving on to that championship weekend next weekend, the 13th of March to be exact. $4,000 will be on the line. Got a pretty good idea of where teams are at, where duos are at after 3 rounds today, and the other 8 rounds that have been played over the last 2 weekends, but it's not over till it's over. There's still plenty of time to get into those top 40 spots, so we'll see which teams can make that final push in the last one. And oh boy, I mean, I'm looking right now towards Misty Meadows, and there's at least 3 duos going right there. There's also some duos near Colossal Coliseum. Excuse me, that's a mouthful. And Craggy Cliffs. So already a big difference. I feel like the even-numbered rounds have been a lot more, engages right off the get-go, and then the odd ones have been a lot more spread out, but it looks like actually one of those teams is going to be dipping for Misty Meadows and going to Hunter's Haven. That's a pretty smart idea right there.
Yeah, agreed. You definitely don't want to be taking these fights early on, especially there's, 6 people vibing at Misty Meadows right now. You are not going to want to be taking these fights early on. Nobody's going to have a good kit. Nobody's going to have what they need. We've got 11 teams on board, 21 players in lobby. We're going to be with Orange Boy and I Woke Up Dead, some of my personal favorites, mostly just for Orange Boy's courageous act of victory there in that first round, making it all the way to top 4 on his lone. Nothing more I love than a good underdog story. But he is going to pick up that charged shotgun, which makes me like him a little less, I got to be honest. But, it is going to be a good gun. It's that green weapon as well, and with 11 teams online still, as close as these teams may have been, nobody's drawn blood quite yet.
Yeah, and the charged shotgun, I mean, we're mostly memeing about it. It's still a good
mostly,
weapon.
Yeah, it's a good gun.
It's just that it takes. I mean, you got to be really patient with it because you have to wait for it to actually do damage. So you have to charge it up, then you fire, and you miss. You miss that shot, it can be very deadly. But here we do see 2 of those teams that we talked about earlier that we thought might engage. It's actually going to be a bit complex and ideal. So I feel like we've seen them have very mixed results so far. Last game, they did super well. First one, all right. Second game, they did not do well. They were one of the first duos actually out. So, they still have a lot to prove here after that third game performance. They were able to get all the way to the top 2. They might try to engage here. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the map. I usually drop here myself if I can. I love that it's all the way south, but still plenty of ways to get out. There's that lake, so you can take a boat out of there if need be to get closer to the circle. And it looks like for now they're going to be trying to break up that clock tower, just trying to farm. And another team engaging, which gives both teams time to try to get some shield. But here's an engage happening elsewhere on the map on Cracky Cliffs.
Yeah, looks like we're going to jump over to Craggy Cliffs here. MBU, AG, and Catinator 3000 going to be going up against I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy for just a moment, but it looks like they're going to give up on that. And I like the cactus skin a lot. You love to see it. MBU going to be bringing the heat on the high ground, going to build up and just try to stabilize, try to build some kind of economy, some walls to keep themselves alive. And committing a medkit for 17 health, I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess desperate times call for desperate measures there. So now Orange Boy going to be hiding underneath. Catinator, definite high ground advantage. Now he saw Orange Boy. He knows where he's at. Might go for the kill here.
Yeah, that was a risky play. It's also one that I don't know is worthwhile considering, like you said, it's only 17 health. But they use it. They commit it. They are fine. They could have been run up there if I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy decided to try to chase that, but they didn't. They decided to just go for more material. I mean, right now it looks like I Woke Up Dead's actually going to take a bit of damage there. I was going to say they have the better health pool collectively, but after that, it's a little bit less. It's a little more even, I would say, a little bit less in one side, but I Woke Up Dead is going to be able to heal up, so maybe had some minis online, and right now they are getting pushed from both sides.
Yeah, they're going to get pushed from both sides here. I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy going to be caught in the kitchen, going to go for that turtling strat, which I cannot stress enough. You do not see people come back from very often. They usually get into that situation, and then that is where they fall. But now we're going to jump back to Misty Meadows. Mid Complex and Ideal going to be going up against this opposite duo, trying to put the pressure on, but they lose the high ground advantage for just a moment. The wall build comes through. The Mid Complex going to drop to the low ground, actually. So Ideal currently up there on their lonesome. Looks like they're going to have to farm a couple more materials before they can really take this fight.
They're not going to be doing this yet, but you see that is, again, they've got one in the high ground. So right now, Nando is in a great position, but the problem is that their partner is actually about to get run up on. I think they're trying to build up now and get there, and I thought they were trying to jump on the roof. They're actually going to re-engage, and now we're going to be moving again to that fight, and now Orange Boy, I think they were able to find the cleanup there. They are able to take out the squad they're facing, so there's going to be MBU going down. We're going to be moving back to Ideal and Big Complex, and I think that actually might be Ideally. I'm just realizing now with that symbol.
I wasn't sure either.
Might be, but you know what? We're just sick of Ideal. I committed to it, right?
Yeah, ideal trident, or ideally, but spelled a little wrong. Either way, it's going to be ideal and complex because we're 4 games deep. We are not changing things up now.
We refuse to adjust.
And absolutely, and Nando going to be bringing the heat again. It's just going to be a slow burn fight between these two teams. Looks like Nando may be able to find Mick complex, but not quite yet. Ideal taking a lot of damage here though from Zuya in this bottom line.
Yeah, Zuya has the orange SMG and it does a lot of damage in close quarters, but it's not great at range. You see there, just you're spraying and praying. You're not able to land the shots. And now Zuya trying to run in, kind of being pincered now, and they're going to fall any second. Only 8 health. They have a wall built. They have their partner who's trying to reach around to the other side, but now they've been caught out too, and this is disaster for them.
Yeah, there goes Nando, there goes Zuya. Mick Complex and Ideal, they play that long game. They play things nice and slow, and they emerge victorious. They're able to confirm 2 eliminations, so a guaranteed 4 points going into the next round, which is already better than they did on that second round. And of course, a little bit worse than that third round where they come all the way in that second place slot. But now, they want to pick up right where they left off.
They do indeed, and I mean, you saw that they had the purple shotgun on their side, so even though there was an orange SMG, I feel like shotguns are just so good. We talked about it. It's a shotgun meta. Usually we're talking about the tactical one. In that case, it just works out better. And they get the... I don't know if they're even going to pick up the orange SMG. I like the silence SMG better, personally, than the tactical one. So I'm not sure if you decide to just take it, but that's a gun, regardless. It's taken out of your enemy's hands, and there's going to be some points now going to you. Once again, we see as we look at the map, there might be an engagement on Lazy Lake. There are still some people at Misty Meadows. I think there actually might be a lone person there. I think they might have lost someone, but I think there are some shots being thrown out at Lazy Lake, and there are indeed. So Control and Harsh, some of the players that we've constantly talked about, they're going to be taking on Beast Ghost right now, as well as Naive 8. Looks like Beast Ghost is the one actually trying to run in, but they're going to be taking a lot of fire from Harsh.
Yeah, a lot of damage super early on from Harsh. They're down to 58 health already. They have no healing, but they do have some shields. So if they're able to pop even just a mini shield that gives them 25, they can pop that full shield. It's going to get them up to 50. And of course, hey, Master Chief skin. We saw it for a brief moment, but it was there. We saw Master Chief for just a moment, and now Control and Harsh going to be going up 2-2 against Naive 8. And it looks like Beast Ghost is going to be here. And yeah, there's that Master Chief skin again, at least that Halo skin. I don't play it enough to know if that's Master Chief, but I do know Halo when I see it. So that is going to be a Halo skin. And yes, my production just confirmed that is in fact Master Chief. Thank you so much for that, guys. And now it's going to be that 2-2, but Harsh with a notorious high ground advantage here.
I think you might have to get your gamer card revoked after that, but...
I just don't play Halo. I'm bad at it.
How dare you? No, it's totally fine. Right now, I mean, Beast Ghost, they pushed up aggressively, took some focus fire, but now they've got this great angle with the sniper rifle. They are just holding it, but they're going to be the one that sniped.
Control with the flank.
Oh, what a great play. This is why this is a duo that we were looking out for. John Hopkins, they had a great result last time. They won the last game, and right now they are
so clean.
In a great situation right now. This is a 2v1. Beast Ghost in no position to try to resurrect their partner, and they only have 58 health.
Their partner. Oh, and they're just going to get ripped to shreds. Your shield's gone, half your health gone. You've got to try to run. You've just got to try to get out of there because that is going to be a bloodbath if Harsh and Control catch you. And it looks like they're going to be able to. Here, Beast Ghost using every single material they have, just desperately trying to get away. But Harsh and Control are some of the bloodthirstiest players that we have seen all night long. And there's that second kill confirmed. That duo, that Master Chief already gone, and Harsh and Control back in control.
Thank you for your service, but unfortunately, is not going to be enough to get you through to the rest of the round. 8 duos left, 15 to be exact. So I think there is one solo. I think we might have pointed that out a bit earlier. I believe they are running around solo.
Wait, 8 duos with 15. That's got to be 2 solos.
And then Orange Boy just fell.
Now, Orange Boy's gone. No, I woke up dead. Wait, they did it.
It's a trade. They win it. They won.
Wait, oh man, I was so upset for a minute. I was so sad for a second. But no, they did win that. They've got those matching gold skins, and I'm sorry, but Shabby in this anime skin, like, that's so terrifying to me. I don't know why, but Lubbo, I mean, Lubbo is old for coaching. Yeah, the outline is so, I don't know, it's just the fact she's holding her sniper rifle, I don't know, just does not sit well with me. Perksy, however, looks like they're going to try to get a little bit of a vengeance here. They will do great in those first 2 rounds. They lose pretty early, not super early on, but they don't place top 3 in that 3rd round, and now this 4th and final. It's going to be a 2v2, Levo and Perksy up against Alt for coaching and Shabby out here in the desert, so trying to find a little bit of value, maybe using that sand for cover if they run out of materials, but that is a very cheeky play, as when you're hiding underneath the sand, everybody can see kind of the outline of where you are, and you can still take all of that damage.
As well, Perksy's playing on a prayer right now. I mean, they're kind of caught out. They don't have the high ground. Levo's taking all of the damage. They aren't able to find an angle. They might be trying to go for a flank right now. All for coaching, they're just trying to focus down Levo. They're actually gonna split fire, and I think right now, actually, all for coaching, I think their squad with Shappy there in the better position. Percy does build up, so now maybe things are a bit more even. You just see they're putting out a lot of heat. Shappy though is going to take some more damage there. Now all for coaching is just running in right now.
Yeah, Ultra Coaching is going to storm into a 2v1 here, trying to find a quick shot onto Percy, unable to find and do some very quick builds. And honestly, no matter what anybody says about Fortnite, the speed that these players can build is always terrifying to me. I think it is super impressive. Their reaction time, their edit time, their build time is probably more gamer than anything I could ever do. So mad respect to everyone that's made it out here today, because this is nothing short of super impressive. And as Shappy takes a bunch of damage, Ultra Coaching going to push in there, try to find any value. But here comes Lovo and Percy. You know, they have to push into this team as Shappy and Ultra Coaching going to be trying to keep themselves alive, trying to heal up a little bit. They're going to get collapsed in on, though, because here comes Percy from the high ground, and Lovo's underneath them.
Yeah, I think you just confirmed to remove your gamer card with that comment, but that is going to be that fall damage finally coming into fruition. But that tap, the quick scope onto Percy.
Oh, that was disgusting. All for coaching is gone, so now it's going to be a 1v1, but Shaffy able to really find some great value with that quick scope. I did not mean to yell over you, but that caught me so off guard there. That was, we've not seen one of those hit all day, but now
Shaffy trying to find that kill. Sniper too. That's not even just like that usually does not get one taps like that, I believe.
Shaffy at the health disadvantage here, so they're going to want to find at least one shot before they take a shot, maybe even turn around and confirm the kill, but now 76, going to take more, and no, it's going to be Lovo. We should have known it when the fight started. Lovo and Perksy are going to be able to stay alive for just a little bit longer there.
Yeah, they're on the edge, but they should be able to get out of this. As we see now, it's going to be someone trying to make their way. Fancy. I'm not sure we've seen them really at all today, so this is going to be a new player that we haven't seen
we saw a hack board, but we have not seen Fancy.
Oh, you love to see it. Fortunately, it looks like they do not have the best inventory right now. It looks like they are rocking greens and grays, and I think at this point in the game, you really should have at least blues. That can be a big difference maker. I mean, it's not the end-all, be-all. You can still win with, lesser guns that don't do as much damage, guns that have worse spreads, if you have a good angle, if you're able to catch the team off by surprise. But you get into those even gunfights where everyone knows where the other person is, it might not go your way. We'll see how that is, as right now it looks like they're just trying to scout on the edge of the circle. They're gonna be able to find another chest. Maybe they'll get a gun. Nope, just another green. So
okay, we get a couple better weapons here. Wow.
There's the Dragon's Breath shotgun.
Excuse me. Yeah, there's the Dragon's Breath shotgun. They've got the blue SMG as well as silence and a couple of green weapons. So not great, but definitely better than what we were seeing from Fancy, who unfortunately is still holding on to a couple of grays.
Yeah, so we'll see how they do. At least they have the objective. At least they have the circle. It looks like there might be another team approaching at them from the east, if I'm looking at that correctly there. I think there's a there's a team coming actually from the west. They're east, but the map's west. Looks like they will be coming into them pretty shortly, so you might see a gunfight there, but it looks like for the time being they're just gonna burrow. Try to get in the end here is gonna be I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy. Still alive. They've made it out, and
this is probably the longest they've stayed alive as a duo, I think. And in this fourth game, I think it's usually just one of them, but somehow they are both still alive. They're gonna be approaching on Ready P1, who's hiding in this bush. I don't think they have any idea he's in there, but I Woke Up Dead might be looking for him here. I think this is the solo player we were missing. There's 11 people left in 6 teams. That means there's one solo running around. I think we're looking at him. Yep. I think this is it. It's Ready P199 who is just hiding in the bushes because there's not much else they can do. They've got a great kit, but winning several 2v1s, I mean, that's hard for anybody.
And what's interesting about this is the bush is so big that they could just burrow and also just build around them, so they actually have a little bit of a fortress. Actually, never mind. I can totally see it from the other side.
From one angle, we originally saw it.
Yeah, debated there, but it actually works out well enough that Orange Boy and I Woke Up Dead, they're not even going to bother trying to check it, so Ready P1 going to be able to survive for at least a bit longer. And one thing I was going to say is that they have the assault rifle out right now, which is a bit surprising considering that they have a purple SMG, they have a blue tactical shotgun, which are much better at range, which is probably the gunfight they would get into if they get into one, but they're on the green AR. This is another play that's going to be on the green AR is Fancy, who, I mean, right now it looks like they have a great angle. They know that there's a team right there. Perksy, they know that Perksy's there, but they don't want to engage with this. So we've seen this a little bit before. Teams are not too gung-ho. They want to wait for the right time. Maybe they're just waiting for a third party because that can work out so well in your favor. Don't take the 2v2, don't take it upright. There's nothing wrong with not going for the fair fight, quote unquote. It's not about being fair. It's about being good. It's about being smart. And Lovo and Perksy now, it looks like they might be trying to set up a little bit of something themselves as they build in a little bit. But I mean, you see Fancy right now, they're just moving on in. They don't take the fight. They don't try to go for the enemies, even though they're right in their crosshairs. They're just going to keep on moving.
Yeah, it looks like a Hackborn is going to be hiding underground there with Fancy, and that's just going to be kind of their idea. Also, I want to point out the remaining teams, we know all of these names. I mean, okay, Ready P1's going to be caught out by I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy there, so that's going to be another kill for them. That's 5 on board. That's 10 points at least for this team, so they're really coming in clutch here in this final matchup. They've got to outlive 2 more teams to get those top 3 placements and those juicy points, and they've got a team approaching them from a side. I'm not able to see their names quite yet, but they're very close together, and I think they are not the slightest aware of each other quite yet.
The other team has the high ground, though, so this could be very dangerous. There's actually going to be another team all the way to their left, so they might get approached by 2 different teams. So right now, Orange Boy might be in a whole world of hurt, depending on how this situation develops. Control and Harsh have just set up a fortress for themselves. Look at how well built that is. Some real nice craftsmanship, some great engineering there. Even has a roof. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, they're really putting into work, showing off maybe some architecture degrees they might have here in the Fortnite world. But a Hackborn and Fancy going to be pushed in hyper aggressive by our favorite Orange Boy and whoa, Woke Up Dead. These two are not going to wake up dead. They're just going to stay dead. I think we heard a sniper rifle shot come off, and there may have been a misfire from Orange Boy there. That is 2 more eliminations. 7 on board. No, it was not. That was somebody trying to take pot shots at them. Control, trying to get some value early on, trying to take this team out, and it looks like if they're careful, Control and Harsh have to move with the upcoming circle. So if Orange Boy can make it with his duo partner, I Woke Up Dead, that could be huge for them because then, they can make Control and Harsh move to them. Either way, 1 more duo before we're in top 3 placement. Control almost finding a shot there, but not quite able to.
Yeah, Ideal and Mid Complex, they're just kind of caught out in the middle right now. Neither of the middle of build. Now they're able to build, but there's a team. I mean, look at, this is like 4 corners right now. There's a team on every kind of edge of the circle, but right now you see Control trying to get into the circle.
Flank. Or Control is going to flank behind them, I think, and I'm not sure Mid Complex and Ideal are any the wiser that they're being pincered here by a duo. Ideal going to tank 105 damage. They're not a good look. Here comes Harsh, going to push in super aggressive with Control to boot. So this duo, bloodthirstier than ever. They're going to be pushing in absolutely to the wire, trying to find these kills early on. They're going to take over a couple of builds and put the pressure on Perksy and Levo. They're going to get to live a little bit longer if Mid Complex and Ideal are taken out, but Orange Boy and Woke Up Dead are going to be flanking from the other side. It looks like Levo is going to go for a couple of pot shots into the forest, and now it's all about that waiting game. Who's going to get that first elimination to really crack either of these fights open?
And I think that Levo and Perksy are in the best position right now because there is a duo right outside of their base, but they haven't really built into it at all. And oh boy, this could be a battle any second. Now they're trying to get. Now there's some damage. Now there's some fire their way. So it's basically 2v2s going on, but this one right now is much more intense. Perksy and Levo, they are sitting pretty. Mid Complex and Ideal, they're trying to run into Harsh and Control, but no real damage found just yet. Now they're building into the sky.
I also want to point out that last time they had this gunfight, Ideal and Mid Complex did win. Harsh did end up losing that, and it was not a good look for Harsh and Control. They ended up losing in a much more elongated, much more horizontal fight rather than this aggressive vertical one that we're seeing now. Mid Complex and Ideal going to be boxed up in the middle, Control playing that low ground on bottom, and Harsh just constantly putting the pressure on, forcing rotations from the two, and forcing out a lot of materials as well, which may be the long game strategy here, but now Control coming up onto that high ground as well. They know the location. They're trying to find some value off of it. Going to be shooting out a couple more walls to find the value here. It looks like Mid Complex and Ideal might be able to get away.
Might, if they're able to build their way out of this.
It's a big might.
You see that, there are a lot of things right around them they can edit, so this is good. It's not an enemy structure that they're building into. I mean, the one thing that was that Harsh and Control have the high ground, the highest of grounds right now. They are above everyone else, and I was saying before that Perksy and Levo were in a great spot, but I feel like actually now they might not be in a great one because they have a base, but they do not have the good vantage point. They do not have the best way to get into a gunfight. Now Mid Complex, they're trying to build their way out. They're trying to get up there, and they're going to see where Harsh and Control move to. Yeah, they're trying to move towards the circle. You see where it's going to go next. They're trying to get out of there.
Right.
And Mid Complex, right now, they're at the very edge of it.
Yeah, and something else to point out that really doesn't matter, but just something of note is I think this is the first time we've made it to Final Four, and there's not just somebody running around on their lonesome. We have 4 duos still alive. I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy, definitely the wild card in this matchup. We've seen Control and Harsh. We've seen Perksy and Levo. We've seen Ideal and Mid Complex. But Orange Boy and I Woke Up Dead have not had the best series so far in these 4 games. I don't know about the other weeks. They could have been a top dog the whole time, and I'm just talking out of my butt here. But overall, we see Orange Boy and I Woke Up Dead just playing so much better than they did on those first couple of games. And honestly, I would love to see them come through and clutch this one up.
See if they do. Control does take a little bit of damage. Now, again, Perksy and Levo, they're kind of in the best position. I mean, they're not in this fight at all, but now, actually, Mid Complex is no way running right up to So maybe not. Maybe
I was
spoke
just about to
soon.
ask where they were, and Mixed Complex like very comedically slid into frame, and then I knew exactly where they were. Ideal and Mixed Complex both alive. They've got Chug Splashes online. They've got an orange. They've got a purple. They've got a green. There's going to be some great value here. You see the AR and the shotgun, the sniper rifle from Mixed Complex as well. They don't have a lot of eliminations online, only 2 between each of them. But if they can place top 3, those points matter so much more. So they just have to wait for one more duo to be taken out.
You, Lenny, you make your move, right? You just
Right,
wait for the
right.
time to strike. Slowly, it's smaller and smaller. Though there's
Perhaps
going to be
the
less
time
and
is
less
now.
time to wait for that. Yeah, it might be now. They're trying to drop down onto Lovo and Perksy, who have. I mean, I said they were in a great position. Now they're not. They just haven't been able to build up. Like they've been having great structures built, but they've always been playing the low ground. And I mean, the one good thing is you can build above yourself, and that way you can
Right.
avoid any damage from above. But you're going to have to keep building. You're going to have to keep running. And now they're going to try to build up and try to take this fight on the high ground. But Perksy, as we saw, like, doesn't have the most health right now. And it looks like now everyone's on the high ground as Control's actually going to get completely booped off there. Luckily to not take too much damage there from the fall. But they are being focused.
Yeah, definitely being focused here. I woke up dead. Gonna take, I think, about 33 shield damage there. Ideal. Gonna be able to find the knock onto Perksy. That could be huge for them. Excuse me, Mixed Complex. Finding Perksy there, so the full elimination does come through. A 2v1. They've got the Chug Splashes as well, trying to find the second duo partner. That's gonna turn this into a 3-team matchup here. It's gonna be 3 duos, and Lovo just desperately trying to stay alive, trying to find that top 3 placement. Mixed Complex and Ideal are both super low, and Control and Harsh know it. They're gonna try to find Mixed Complex super early on, trying to find any value, but Ideal gonna be building up right into them as well, so even more pressure coming off from both sides. They're both at full health. Mixed Complex able to heal up a little bit, but I think they're going to try to get together for some Chug Splash. Ideal going to take a lot more damage. Here comes the Storm, though. These folks are going to get eaten alive. We see the completion elimination come through onto Ideal. Lovo gone as well, so all of a sudden we're down to top 3 teams. Lovo was taken out, and it looks like Harsh is going to be taken out as well. Harsh going to be taken out. Excuse me, Control by Orange Boy is going to be taken out. Mixed Complex being chased to the wire by Harsh, one of the bloodthirstiest players we have seen all day long, and I think we are only looking at one full duo right now, and it's Orange Boy and I Woke Up Dead.
Yeah.
Mixed Complex and Harsh are going to be both solos. We're going to see an elimination on Control. Orange Boy, elimination onto Harsh from Mixed Complex. And come on, I want this so bad. I would love to see this duo come from the depths here. I've been rooting for them secretly all day long. I will admit that right now. Mixed Complex, okay, all right, pretty publicly, but still. Mixed Complex, and there it is, folks. I Woke Up Dead and Orange Boy are going to be able to secure a 9 elimination, 10 technically, but the Storm ended up getting that final kill. They do end up winning that 4th and final match with 9 eliminations on board. That is, I mean, what is that, 18 points, not including their first place placement? That is huge.
Yeah, and then you add that on, it's almost 60 points for that last matchup, so that's going to really help them in the standings. And you mentioned a great point when we were watching a little bit earlier in this matchup. Usually one of them was dead very early on, and the other one would stay alive for a bit. It's so hard to win a 1v2, and we only saw one reboot on stream. I'm not sure. I think there was at least 2 or 3 more that didn't happen in our observer feed, but there were a few. But it's just so hard to get those. We talked about it a lot earlier. Like, it makes so much noise, it takes so long, you're completely vulnerable. So it really doesn't usually work out in your favor there. They stay alive to the end. They play the wide side of the circle. What's left of it, they play a little bit farther away, and you saw their Mixed Complex and Harsh. They were just going at it. They were toe to toe in a box essentially. And their Orange Boy was just like, you know what? Sure, I'll just wait for you to kill the other one, and then I'll come in. And then they just ran in. They get that last match victory, and that's going to be the end of qualifiers. That's going to be the last one. So that was the last opportunity to get points to qualify for those finals next weekend. And I mean, you go out with a bang, you go out with almost 60 points. That's a great way to try to qualify. And we're going to be having an interview with some players in just a moment. But while we wait for them, I mean, Septilin's, what a great day of Fortnite we had.
Honestly.
What a great 4 matches that we had.
Yeah, honestly, great 4 matches. They happened so quickly. It was like blink and you miss them moments. We had, I think, a different victor for every round. We had some top 3 copies, but I don't think anybody won 2 rounds in total. We saw a lot of Lovo there and some great value. We're going to see some great replays as well coming off from Perksy and Lovo. They had some great aggression. They got a lot of kills amongst the 2 of them. Whether they placed top 3 or not, they were arguably some of the highest placing duos that we saw in terms of eliminations alone. Another one, I was just about to say, being Mixed Complex and Ideal. Across the 2 of them, I think they netted somewhere between 20 and 30 eliminations across those 4 games. And other than the one, they were the first team out, so maybe closer to 20. But they had a lot either way. And just all in all, a lot of the duos that we saw, a lot of the names we got to know, like Harsh and Control as well, they just were incredibly bloodthirsty, and they took full advantage of that. And I think that really gave us a fascinating show tonight.
Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier, but I think we saw some more fast-paced Fortnite. We also saw some more slow-paced Fortnite, and I think that different teams were able to find more success depending on that style. As you said, some teams, they really went in for the kills. They knew that they had the mechanical, skills to get the kills, so they were okay with just kind of jumping into fights blind and hoping that it would work out for them. Other teams, they played it a bit more safe. They were a bit more tactical. They waited for other teams to already have finished fights and they ran in. That's how that last round ended. The best part is we did not see a heal win. We did not see just an out heal win today, and I love that. I love these teams. They went for the kills at the very end. The circle never got into that scenario where it was just too small. It just kept moving around, which I think is a big part of why, but still, it's I wouldn't say it's like underwhelming. It's just not the ending that I feel like people want. It's kind of like you see a great
anticlimactic.
Yeah, you see a great movie play out, and then it's like the Mass Effect ending, basically. It's someone wins, but no one's super thrilled about. But here, a lot of great, excellent gunplay, a lot of great skill, and like you said, every team, every victory that we had was different. So no team won twice. There were some teams in the top 3 and top 5 that they were very repetitively, but I think this is a team that we saw. Shafi and their partner, they won match 3, I believe, which was a name that we weren't really saying a lot. They were usually not near the top, so it was great to see that one team was able to rise up, and be able to win one of the matches here.
Absolutely, and I think a huge reason that a lot of these players did end up winning these rounds is simply they had better gear. And if you want to ensure that you have better gear than your opponents consistently, then you should shop esportcertified.com. It's a new gaming gear destination exclusively for college and university students, specializing in a wide assortment of PC gaming gear, headsets, mice, keyboards, and more. Shop today's top brands, including Razer, HyperX, and Rig, all at epic savings. Visit today at www.esportcertified.com. So go ahead and be sure to check that out, guys. We want to let you know one more time. And of course, I did mean that when I said it. It was not just a plug for our sponsor tonight. It was also sometimes they just had better gear. We talked about that a lot. Sometimes teams, they had the orange weapons, and sometimes somebody was walking around with a gray tac shotgun, and you're just realistically not going to win that matchup. So it really does come down to the gear. There were no heal offs, which was great, and just a lot of building that I talked about at the beginning, overbuilding. I feel like we didn't see a lot of that, which I'm really excited about, because sometimes players get a little bit overzealous that like somebody shoots a bullet at them and they build like the Taj Mahal, but this time around they end up, we didn't see that hyper build. We just saw building when necessary rather than like building in advance, which I'm never really a fan of.
I would love to see the Taj Mahal built in Fortnite. That should be the next challenge. I believe that we are ready for our interview, so we'll be trying to bring them in. Just kidding, we are not. So I think we're going to be possibly taking a quick break. I'm going to get confirmation on production from that before we do so. We're going to be taking a break, so we'll be right back with an interview with one of these great players from one of these amazing duos that we saw.
Players, maybe we make it a whole duo, but it might just be one person. I don't know.
We're not sure. It's going to be a surprise for everyone, so we'll be finding out in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that, as well as those standings to find out who qualified for the main event and finals next weekend. Be sure to stick around. Don't go anywhere, folks.
In 2020, we interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you $250,000 worth of scholarships through Intel Inspires. Now, in 2021, we are the regularly scheduled programming. We are proud to announce the new AVGL high school program, backed by a myriad of colleges, influencers, and esports professionals. Up to $400,000 worth of scholarships, paid esports internships, content creator camps, and 50+ exclusive tournaments and events. We know the ropes, and after the experience granted to us through Intel Inspires, we're no longer tying knots, we're tying bows. Because esports isn't about skill, it's not about age, it's not even about experience, it's about attitude. And we at the AVGL are dedicated to bringing that attitude from the vault of the esports corporations and into your classroom. If there's one thing we've learned from a year at the forefront of collegiate esports, it's that professional gaming doesn't start with us. It starts with you.
Welcome back, Fortnite friends and foes. I'm still Septilence here with Jag to bring you our closing interview of the 4th week, of the 4th game, of the qualifier matchup here. And we get to talk to somebody I'm quite excited to talk to. It's going to be Lovo, who was a name that we talked about a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Lovo, how you doing tonight?
Lovo, that was great. Good. How about you?
We're doing all right. You guys put on just a masterclass here tonight, and you did a phenomenal job the entire way around. You really showed us kind of how well things go. Oh, wow, that's really neat. I didn't know we were going to do that. Sorry. But you got to really do a great job. You guys come in second a little bit. Things are a little shaky, but you guys got some of the highest eliminations in a duo across the board. So how do you feel about your performance today?
At first it was pretty shaky, for sure, but we just focused on playing it. We landed our Slurpee every time, as you could tell. There was a few teams that landed Slurpee, but then when they realized they couldn't hold it, they backed off. So we had Slurpee to ourselves. We took advantage of the free shield, because Slurpee is basically free shield, and we made sure to center rotate every time. And if we saw a team that looked in shambles, we'd take advantage and go in. But the main point was to make it at the end game and get free kills there.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys did a great job. Your rotations were very clearly super impressive. We saw some great value. And now I'm going to throw you over to Jag, who's going to have a couple of questions for you.
Hello, and congratulations once again. A great performance. So, I mean, there were a lot of duos that you guys faced off against. Was there any duo in particular that, it felt like, it was very even, or maybe you didn't want to run into them because they were really good? Or was there any gunfights you were trying to avoid?
For sure, Control and Harsh. As you can see, they were very aggro throughout the tournament. Yeah. And they caught us off guard one game. We were mining or farming up, and they were on the mountain. They just instantly sprayed and destroyed my teammate's shield, and we were in shambles after that, and it was super difficult to coordinate and heal him up while focusing on that one dude that pushed me. And there was a tree in the way, which was crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you guys did a pretty spectacular job here tonight, and I was very curious. Is there anything do you feel like at any point you made like a crucial mistake that really could have make or break like a matchup for you guys, or do you feel is there anything specifically you would go back and change if you were able to?
Make sure I leave with full mats, because usually my partner's really smart with leaving with full mats, but if you look at my inventory, I don't really manage my mats. I focus on getting my mats through kills, but that's pretty bad. So. Yeah.
All right, and I'm just gonna ask. This is more a general question, but what is it like being a collegiate esports player? What is it like having a partner that you get to do duos with? What is it like just being able to play games like this and being able to compete at a really high level?
I mean, it's a really cool opportunity. I mean, I get to play the game. That's fun, and I like to play it. And with my teammate, that's even better. And since it's at a high level and we're competing for prizes, I mean, what's more to say? That's probably like the dream of, if you're gonna play a game, might as well earn money in it, right?
I could not have said it better. That is a great analysis of what is going on. I absolutely love that. That is great.
Yeah.
So you got one more question, Seth?
No, go ahead, go for it.
All right, so I just got one more question. Obviously we don't know where the final standings are just yet. Hopefully we'll get those to you guys and the viewers as well a little bit later. But I mean, going into the main event, going into the finals, I gotta ask, how confident are you feeling going into that? How well do you think you guys can do?
I'm pretty confident. I have a hurt finger, actually. Oh. And I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can see it.
That's rough.
So I consider every player that we faced pretty lucky that I wasn't at 100%. But yeah, because I play controller, so they should prepare for grand finals. So yeah, I'm pretty confident for sure.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And I'm very curious. So I would like to know why Fortnite. So I'm assuming you've played other video games before. I'm assuming Fortnite's not the first
Yeah.
video game you've ever picked up, you know?
No.
So is there something about it specifically? Like, are you particularly better at it than other video games? Or is it just you felt kind of a click with it?
At first, I'm not going to lie. When Fortnite first came out, I was like, who would play this game? But when my friends got me onto the game, yeah, when my friends got me onto the game, I just realized like this game, there's 3 mechanics in this game that is way different from other games. You got editing, you got building, and you got your shooting. And in every other like competitive shooter, it's usually first person. But now that there's like 3 other mechanics, people can be good at editing, building, shooting, and it's really way more skilled than other games in my opinion. That's why I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely one of a kind, both in terms of, you know, competitive games and battle royales. You don't see any other game like it with building and whatnot. But I think those are all the questions I have. Jag, if you have anything else lined up.
I just got one more. And it's not really a question, it's more just your time to shine. If you've got anyone that you want to shout out, say thanks to, you know, just say, hey, we're coming for you next time. Anything you want to say, now's your time. The floor is yours.
All right. So Control and Harsh, you're not gonna get the free beam next time, so I'm coming after you in grand finals.
Ooh.
And what can I shout out my teammate, his channel on YouTube?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Okay, all you guys go follow Perksy, his channel on YouTube, Purcsy on YouTube. He's pretty cracked. No, he's not pretty. He's actually amazingly cracked. Yeah.
You love to see camaraderie between teammates. There's nothing better than a good camaraderie. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lobo. It has been awesome to talk to you. We love getting to talk to people that are in game because, you know, we can only analyze what we see on the outside. So thank you so much for joining us. I think that's all we have. And I mean, I think realistically, with how you guys played tonight, I would be confident in your placement. But of course, I haven't seen the previous 3 weeks or anything. So best of luck to you all in all.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, and thank you so much for joining us, Lobo. I mean, it's been a great 3 weeks, right? Qualifiers
Absolutely.
are now going to be over. Control and Harsh, I think that was really interesting. You know, they were the ones that were being kind of called out a little bit. And I love that. I love that there's a friendly rivalry. You know, you can tell
Of course. Yeah,
Lobo's
absolutely.
not like, oh, like these guys are bad. It's just like, you know, look out. Like, we're coming for you.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I played Fortnite on controller actually before I swapped to PC, and it is very hard to play when you've got a finger like that. I wasn't sure if it was swollen or bruised or what was going on there, but I mean, also just even more kudos to Lobo for the fact that they were playing through that injury and doing very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, probably injured in anything, right? Whether it be like a physical sport, an esport, really to do anything that involves kind of that tactile existence of your fingers. But I mean, it's going to be super difficult. But congratulations to Lobo because you carried like crazy. And folks, we just got to hear from our production the leaderboards already, so we're going to be throwing them up on screen. And Jag and I are going to find out with you all kind of how this ends up for everybody.
Yep. I would love a drum roll, but we're gonna do a countdown instead. So we're gonna go 5,
5,
4, 3,
3,
2, 1.
That's why we're really off time, but here it is.
Is.
Let's see. It looks like, okay, we've got these teams lined up, and they're going to be coming in these top 10 placements. I honestly don't think many of them are very surprising.
No, we talked about University of Maryland before. They actually had 2 teams competing. That's why you're seeing them twice on the leaderboard. We got University of Texas. I'm not sure. I think there's Texas Arlington as well as the UT Austin campus. And then Johns Hopkins University. They're still at the top. That's Control and Harsh. That's the duo that we've named time after time again. So it's not surprising they were able to finish at the top. But I mean, it wasn't the cleanest performance tonight, right? I mean, like, they did very well throughout all 4 matches, but going into this, you'd expect they would be the ones finishing at the top 2 at least every time. And I think realistically, it was only 1 or 2 times. They won 1 matchup, I believe, and I think the other one they got to top 2 or top 3. So I think the biggest thing, the takeaway is, like, there is, you know, this really great duo, a duo that's been, like, even, like, you know, kind of called out, but one of the other great duos that we saw here today. But it's anyone's game at the end of the day. Anyone can come in and win this. The standings, by the way, for that top 40, they're going to completely reset for the grand finals. Here it was just for qualifications, so nothing is going to be taken. This is just to make it in. next weekend, it's going to be basically a brand new start. It's going to be for all the marbles.
Absolute. Like you said, all the marbles indeed. And with that leaderboard finally being out of the way, you guys got it there so you can go back and check it out even more. But I think that does bring tonight to a close, unless I'm forgetting anything. I think this is going to be our close up here of the AVGL Collegiate Champions League. So thank you everybody so much for joining us. If you like what you saw from Jag and myself, of course, please follow us on Twitter. We'd love to see you guys around. And please follow the channel. They can't do what they do without you. And of course, we can't either. We appreciate all of your love and support. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to our production team and our observers who are working silently kind of behind the scenes. You know, their faces aren't on screen, but we couldn't do what we do without you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you everybody so much for joining us. I'm Septilence, joined by Jag, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everybody.
In 2020, we interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you $250,000 worth of scholarships through Intel Inspires. Now, in 2021, we are the regularly scheduled programming. We are proud to announce the new AVGL high school program, backed by a myriad of colleges, influencers, and esports professionals. Up to $400,000 worth of scholarships, paid esports internships, content creator camps, and 50+ exclusive tournaments and events. We know the ropes, and after the experience granted to us through Intel Inspires, we're no longer tying knots, we're tying bows. Because esports isn't about skill, it's not about age, it's not even about experience, it's about attitude. And we at the AVGL are dedicated to bringing that attitude from the vault of the esports corporations and into your classroom. If there's one thing we've learned from a year at the forefront of collegiate esports, it's that professional gaming doesn't start with us. It starts with you.